Byakuya. Toko. Oh yeah, we left it. We were like, Byakuya, we're not gonna listen to your whole spiel. We'll leave that for Friday. And then it turned out there was nothing. It was just his picture and no other information. So it's like, sorry to make you wait 4 days, Byakuya, just so that way we could say your name and move on. It is time to properly solve the case of Mukuro Ikusaba, the 16th student hiding somewhere in this school. The ultimate despair. Yeah. Welcome in, Archfey. How's it going? Hina. Everyone. They all said that they agreed to live in this school. For forever. And then... Kyoko. Her interview with him had been recorded just as clearly. Without a doubt, she had met him. She'd sat down with the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy, her father. And when he asked her his question, she answered the same as everyone else. She accepted a life within the school. Just as Kyoko's interview was wrapping up, the monitor suddenly went black. Could this possibly be Monokuma interference? Huh? It wasn't just the monitor. The DVD player itself had apparently turned off. It's haunted. Which of course meant that the DVD wasn't playing anymore. What the heck just happened? It's set to self-destruct. Oh, I was right the first time. Oopsie. Looks like it broke. Out of service. What? It just so happened to break just now? Now then, when, doesn't matter. Failure can strike anywhere, anytime. That's what failure is, right? Yeah, thanks, Monokuma. Failure my ass. You cut the power on purpose. Oh, whatever. Even if I watched the whole thing, it'd just be more of the same. He'd ask them a question, and they'd all say yes. That's a pretty big assumption there, Makoto. Like, you have no fucking clue what that DVD... I almost said tape. God, I'm old. What that DVD... actually contains. Like, you're making some pretty big assumptions there. I couldn't help myself. I let out a huge, exasperated sigh. But as I did, I remembered something. I fainted too. And when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself. A disconnect. Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to this school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all of that? Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Convenient outcome. Something that seemed to obviously work in favor of the Mastermind. So does that mean I've lost my memory? I've lost my memory too. Yeah, Makoto. You got it. You think that those dreams that you've been having of you, like, saying that you need to stay there has anything to do with this? What about the others? Have we all forgotten? Or... Okay, the interview DVD has been added. Ooh, and there we go. That is the end of the investigation period. For anything that has a start, there has to be an end. I think Makoto is suffering from dementia. That would explain a lot, yeah. And if the end comes, then that means it's time for a fresh start. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the John Mulaney bit about Law and Order SVU and how Ice-T, even like his character, even though he's been with the sex crimes unit for like fucking 20 years, he still seems absolutely surprised and floored every time there's anything even slightly strange. And how he like roots for him through every episode as he finally figures it out. He's like, yeah, Ice, you got it. That's what I feel like with this game a lot. It's like, yeah, Makoto, you figured it out. Like, it's like, you should know this by now, but I'm proud of you. There is no night that doesn't have a dawn. Although that dawn is totally pitch black. There's no storm that won't eventually end. Of course, then that leads to drought. But as I said, every end is the promise of a new beginning. Which is why I'm sure we'll get to meet again, because the end is only the beginning. Anyway, let's get started. The beginning of the end of the class trial. Everyone gather once again at you know where. It's about to begin again. The class trial is going to start. The final class trial. The last time all of our lives will be on the line. The last time hope and despair are on the line. I don't have a choice. I have to do this. Okay then, yosh! This is the end. Anybody chilling out here that we need to talk to before we go into the elevator? Doesn't appear to be. But I was pretty on with my assessment of how long before we get to the class trial. I said 5 minutes, it's been 10 minutes, but some of that was yapping. You know how it is. I guess I'm the first one this time. You're early, Makoto. Does that mean you feel prepared? Yeah, for now, at least. But where's everyone else? Why aren't they here yet? Don't worry, I'm sure they'll be here soon. Yeah, everybody else is late because they're not used to having to actually investigate shit. Normally we just do that, so they're like, ah, fuck, and like making notes. And they're like, no, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. Excuse me while I have a sip of coffee. Delicious. My lovely husband has made me coffee again this morning. And just like she said, Byakuya. Byakuya? They arrived one after another. They're all gonna vote me, like, instantly, yet again. But they were all in the same state of shock. Hina? I mean, you two and sometimes Byakuya do the heavy lifting. Exactly. Just give her a donut and she'll be happy. Hiro? I like how Hiro doesn't really have an angry expression. He just kind of... I don't even know how to describe that face. It's, I guess, more worried than anything else. Silence. And it wasn't any normal silence. It was the deafening silence of fear and suspicion. It was like the first class trial. I'm late. Okay, Sailor Moon, you running in here with a piece of toast in your mouth? The other two are not gifted investigators. Also, they need to actually say why they're so busy, right? Toko being in Jill mode right now could be a pretty big handicap too, since they don't share memories. So, was Toko investigating or was Jill investigating? My guess is that Aoi has a false lead, Hiro has the right evidence but the wrong thought process, and Toko was spying on Byakuya. The other two actually put work in, yeah. Yeah, definitely. That sounds pretty spot on for character-wise. Ugh. I don't want to say that. Oh, strong silent master is so wonderful. So cool, so hot. I'm gonna leave it at that. Ugh. Yes. Now listen, everything will be just fine if you leave it to me. With my sharp scissors in hand, I'll stab and gouge and shiv the master of evil. But I thought you couldn't kill anyone but adorable little boys. I mean, she didn't say anything about little, just adorable. She likes hot. She likes Bishonen, okay? She likes the hot guys. If it's what Master wants, it can be boy, girl, or anything in between. I can handle it. Oh, thank you. Thank God. Welcome back, Toko. The first time I've ever said that. Where am I? No human language can describe the disappointment I'm feeling right now. Oh, God, I need to remember that. That is a blow. That is rough. Is everyone here? Ooh, and wearing our gloomy gust faces, I see. Yeah, Jill takes down the non-binary. Okay, then. Let's begin. Hajime sho. This final class trial is going to be slathered in pitch black despair. Climaxium sorrow. Eva. You're right. This is the final class trial. And this time, it'll be fair. What do you mean this time? Stop with all the slander. I'm a bear in good standing, you know. If there was a Mr. Fair Guy universe contest, I'd take home the tiara every year. I'm gonna win this game super fair and square. And I'll make sure everyone watching at home knows that despair is mightier than Denda Hope. What the fuck? Enough of your tedious drivel. Begin the trial already. Sure. Let's begin the trial already. I'll be waiting for you down below. Imagine you got turned back into Jill just as she's about to kill and you say, I think I might be a girl. Yeah, I mean, that would be very interesting to see if that actually stops her. Thank you, Saribot. So don't try and run away. Laughing loud as ever, Monokuma disappeared. Whatever. This will be over in no time. With an inexplicable confidence, Byakuya was the first into the elevator. One by one, the others followed. Nobody made eye contact, and nobody said a word. They just disappeared into the elevator. No. They're all acting odd. Yeah, it's almost like they saw a piece of evidence that was offered up that you didn't bother looking at, Kyoko. Like they're paranoid, suspicious of each other. But you know why that is, don't you? Yeah, I think so. Well, you can tell us all about it soon. At the class trial. You're right. I'm ready. Ready to win, right? Of course. I'm glad to hear you say that. And then Kyoko was aboard the elevator. It'd be funny if I could, like, actually get Monokuma coins from that. Like, if there was something else to investigate in here. I started making my way towards the opening. Gross. Step by step towards that gaping maw. I'd resolved that this would be the last time. I repeated to myself that there was no fear, no mystery left. I pushed the anxiety down, calmed my trembling body, and finally, on steady legs, I passed the threshold and stood in the elevator. Without warning, it began to descend. Deeper and deeper. Deeper, deeper, and deeper still. Okay, really? This is some A+ writing right here. I closed my eyes and sight fell away. Yeah, we get it. We get it. Elevator goes down, okay? I'm just gonna scooch slightly, get into a bit more of a comfortable spot here. Lock in for this class trial. Okay. All sound, too, disappeared. Alone in the universe, I waited for the elevator doors to open for the last time. It'd be kind of funny if like all the different class trials that we've done so far weren't actually on the same floor. That rather than redecorating, Monokuma just has like these like courtrooms just lined up so that way we can use it a fresh one each time. What could have been seconds or centuries later. I felt the gentle vibration of the elevator come to an end. I slowly opened my eyes. Oh, not very fancily decorated this time. This is the final trial site? Oh, what do you think? Isn't it just the perfect background for deciding a person's fate? It's the long-awaited last stage, the always exciting final boss battle. Yeah, Monokuma breaks into Hiro's room at night and uses the crystal ball to know exactly who will die. He doesn't even have to break into his room. The crystal ball is in the is in that locker on the second floor of the dorms. And I'm gonna sit in on this one. I'll just sit right here in the vacant 16th seat. Well then, let's begin. Yes, save the data. We're gonna take a quick look through the truth bullets again, just to try to remind ourselves of some of the details since we discovered all of this stuff on Monday. So I wonder how many leaps of logic we're gonna see on this one. A lot. A lot. Okay, so identity unknown, dead before the blast, stabbed a single time, which went completely through the body. Struck in the object, or struck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. The body was discovered with other wounds, but they were at least several days old. I don't know if we actually will ever need to present this. I'd be very surprised if we need to present our list of places to check. Although if we didn't need to, then why would it be here, right? Interesting. Okay, the Monokuma room in the data center had a small room used to command Monokuma. It's where the Mastermind had been issuing commands. There was a trapdoor in the floor with how they got in. Tarp found in the garden was from the biolab. Mukuro did not have a single scar or wound when she came to Hope's Peak. Her height was 5'7". She weighed 97 pounds. Her vitals were 31, 22, 32. I do find it funny that they call them vitals instead of measurements. Kyoko confirmed that the corpse matched those characteristics. The phrase, the ultimate despair, doesn't refer to a single individual, but a like-minded group of people. A year ago, that group brought about the worst single event in human history. They're motivated only by despair, making them some of the most despicable people to ever live. Brightly colored present in the hidden room. Inside the box were the remains of the headmaster. Headmaster had a photo of himself and Kyoko in his hidden room. Emergency e-handbook. No restrictions was given to the headmaster. Notebook in the locker in the second floor of the dorms. Yasuhito's name written inside has notes from different classes. Pocketbook also in the lockers in the dorms, believed to be Kyoko's. There's a message. Despair walks among us, and so we survive. There's a second despair. A biolab has been repurposed as a morgue. Corpse fridge has been installed into the biolab. Blue lights show that slots are occupied. 9, including Mukuro's body. Okay, the photo of everyone. Makoto is not in the photo, while Mukuro is. Genocide Jack does not share memory with Toko. Kyoko says that both the stab wound and the blow to the head were inflicted after death. The DVD where everyone says that they are not, that they want to stay at the school forever. That's it. Okay. Okay. I don't think we have any skills that are not equipped. Yeah. Okay. Time to do this shit.
今回は最後の学級裁判ということで特別ルールが適用されます。
Since this will be the final class trial, I've come up with a special rule. Monokuma, you're still adding game mechanics at the end of the game.
まずは
So
そのル
listen,
ールを明確にしておきましょうか。
so listen up.
戦場ムクロを殺した犯人を指摘し、なおかつこの学園の謎を解き明かした場合は
If you can figure out Mukuro's killer and go on to solve the mystery of the school,
お前らの勝ち。
you guys win.
だけどそれができなかった場合は
But if you can't,
僕の勝ち。
then I win.
もちろん敗者に待ち受けるのはワクワクでドキドキのお仕置きですよ。
And of course, waiting for the loser is the super exciting, super heart-pounding punishment. I would be clarifying right now. If we win, is Monokuma the one who's facing the punishment? Or is the headmaster who is piloting Monokuma? Because you are just one robot of many. You know, if we're playing for keepsies here with death on the line, I don't want the robot getting destroyed. I want the pilot getting destroyed.
あなたが敗者になった場合は、あなた自身が処刑されるってこと？
Are you saying that if you lose, you'll execute yourself?
うん、そうなるね。
Yep, sure will.
その発言に訂正はないわね。
And that's final? No loopholes? No wiggling out of it later?
もちろんだよ。熊に二言はないからね。
Of course not. Bears never go back on their word.
そんなことより俺から聞きたいことがある。
Never mind all that. I just have one question for you.
おや、珍しくシリアス調だね。お腹でも痛いの？
Now you're taking this serious, huh? Are you feeling okay?
黒幕って一人なんか？
Good question. Is the mastermind only one person? Considering we found proof that, the ultimate despair is multiple people. I think that's a very good question.
あ？
Hmm?
俺にはもう分かってんだぞ。
Don't bother. I already know the answer.
ここにいる全員が黒幕と繋がってんだろ？
Oh,
みんなして俺を騙してんだろ？
you had a good question, but you took it to the wrong place. You're all the mastermind, aren't you? You're all out to get me. I am the only real person here.
え？そうなんだろ？
I'm right, aren't I? I knew it. Okay, places to check isn't going to be useful, or the headmaster's e-handbook could be. You guys have all been working together, haven't you? I have the evidence, so I know I'm right. Hey, you stole my line. You're all out to get me, I'm sure of it. I have evidence of my own. What a coincidence. I too have evidence to present. Evidence that proves everyone other than me has been working together. What? Wait, hold on. This doesn't make any sense. How can what the fuck does that say? How can the three of us each have that kind of evidence? All three of them think that everyone around them is their enemy. There's no doubt that this is a trap that Monokuma set. He set it up so we would suspect each other. And I have something that proves it. Okay.
それはこっちのあんたたちの方こそその証拠だってある。
奇遇だな。俺以外の全員が組んでる証拠がな。
なんで証拠を3人もいるんだって。
There.
それは違う。
Yeah, I swear to God, already 1 out of 3 confirmed.
3人だけじゃないよ。その証拠だったら僕も持ってるんだ。
It's not just you three. I have evidence too.
苗木っちもか。
What? You too?
みんなが言ってる証拠ってこの集合写真のことだよね。
The evidence you're all referring to is this group photo, right?
そうだけど。
Yeah. So everyone has a copy of it with themselves missing?
あれ？でも違う。
Huh? Wait, but Mine's different.
だって苗木の持ってる写真には私が写ってるけど
With the picture you have, 5 minutes. It's interesting. That was a bad assumption that I had made, where I assumed that they all were giving Makoto that look because they had seen this photo without him in it and so suspected him of being the mastermind. I didn't think for a second that each of them would have had a copy of the photo that they were not in. Yeah.
そんなのおかしいよだって私が持ってる写真には
That can't be right, because in my picture... Oh, it's a completely different photo.
私だ
Interesting.
けが写ってないんだよ
See, I'm the only one not in it. That is pretty terrifying with Sakura coming up in the back there. I figured as much. In which case...
君も写真を持ってるんだよね。
Hiro,
見せてくれない？
Hiro, you have a picture too, right? Let's see it. Okay, Hiro's picture. Hiro's picture is going to be... Where is it going to be? It's going to be... In the cafeteria? Oh, okay. But be careful with it. It's pretty important evidence. Classroom. But they were eating lunch. Partial points. Partial points. This one too. It's just like I thought.
見えてきたみたいだよ。
So the
この写
secret...
真に隠された秘密がさ。
The secret in these pictures has been revealed. I definitely noticed something with that last one that I didn't notice with the sports day or the gym class one before it that I should have been paying attention to. One thing I love in that game is opening a locked door. Your character fumbles with the key for a bit before you're opening the lock. From there, you can just lift the door off the hinges and above your head. I think that's how doors work, right? A secret or whatever. I don't care. You guys are all in on this together. That's why I'm the only one missing.
私の写真にはあんただって写ってるんだよ
But you're in my picture.
あんたたちの方こそみんなして私を騙してるんじゃん
You're the ones trying to trick me.
そうなんだ。そうやって争うことこそがこの写真の目的だったんだ。
So the whole purpose behind these photos was to get us questioning and fighting with each other.
自分以外の全員が組んでいる。僕たちにそう思わせるための黒幕の罠なんだよ。
The mastermind laid a trap to make us each think that everyone else was working against us.
僕の罠
Huh? I laid a trap? Would I do that? An adorable, cuddly little teddy bear?
罠とは失礼しちゃうなそれってどういう根拠で言ってるのさ
A trap? How rude. What grounds do you have for such audacious accusations? The proof I need to reveal Monokuma's trap. Each photo has a certain something in common. There's a connection regarding what person isn't shown in the group photos. And that person is the one who got the photo. This isn't even, like, why... We've talked about this.
これだ。その集合写真には受け取った本人だけが写ってなかったんだ。
Shut up, new guy. That's 2/3 of my guesses on the characters confirmed. Don't let me down, Toko. There's still plenty of time.
僕が受け取った写真には僕だけが写ってなかったし。
So in the picture I got, I'm the only one missing.
朝比奈さんの受け取った写真には彼女だけが写ってなかった。
In the picture Hina got, she's the only one missing. Yeah, my suspicion was correct. Looking at this photo again.
そして葉隠君が受け取った写真には彼だけが写ってなかった。
And in the picture Hiro got, he's the only one missing.
ついでに俺が受け取った写真も見せてやろうか
As long as we're talking about it, I suppose I should show you my photo as well.
つまりモノクマが僕たちに渡したのはその本人だけが写ってない集合写真だったんだ。
In other words, Monokuma gave each of us a group photo in which that person was included.
俺らはそんな写真を見せられたせいで 全員が敵だと思い込んでたんか？
Yeah, now you get it, Hero. And when we each saw our picture, we just assumed everyone else was the enemy.
うぷうぷバレた？
Figured it out, huh?
こんなことだと思っていたわ。何がヒントよ。
Yeah, I thought that must be it. But how was that a hint? I mean, I got the hint looking at the photos. But you know, there might be more to this than just Monokuma trying to confuse us. There's something else that bothers me about everyone's pictures. Me too, Makoto. What is it? What's digging at me?
あのさ、みんなの集合写真もう一度見せてくれないかな。
Listen, can I see everyone's group photo one more time? Could it be the posing of a particular person?
今の話とは直接関係ないと思うんだけど、ちょっと確認しておきたいことがあるんだよ。
I saw that Shoryuken Sakura. Oh, man. Yeah, I'd like to double check something.
別に俺は構わんべ。
Sure, no problem.
私もいいけど。
Yeah, I don't mind. I'm sure there's something unusual about these group photos. Don't talk about the 16th student. That's not it. What is it? I need to compare each of them one more time. Byakuya's picture. Who the fuck is that? Oh, it's Toko back there. God, that Shoryuken is fantastic. Hina's picture. Hiro's picture. My picture. There's something strange about all of them. Something I can't quite pin down. I can pin it down. Something... Group photo has been updated in the Truth Bullets section of your handbook.
はい、ギッチ。そんな写真なんてもうほっとけって。
I figured we wouldn't be revealing that already. Can you just forget about the photo already?
それにしてもムカつくべ。そんな捏造写真で俺を騙そうとするなんてよ。
Trying to trick me with such an obviously fake photo. I'm still pissed about that. Well, you fell for it, Hiro.
しかも、お揃いの制服なんて手が込みすぎだし。
And on top of that, they went through all that trouble to make it look like we were wearing matching uniforms. I mean, I think you were.
捏造？
Hmm? So you think that they're fake?
いやいや、あれ自体は本物だけど。
No, no. I assure you, they're quite real.
何言ってんの？そんなわけないじゃん。
What are you talking about? There's no way.
そうだべ。俺はあんな写真なんか撮った記憶ねえぞ。
Yeah, I don't remember ever taking a picture like that.
つまり捏造ってことじゃねえか。間違いねえっての。
So it's gotta be fake. I'm sure of it.
でもさ、本当にそうなのかな。
But you know, can we really be so sure?
確かにあんな写真を撮った記憶なんて僕にもないけど。
Don't get me wrong, I don't remember taking this picture either, but
だから捏造だって本当にそう言い切れるのかな。
is that really enough to be absolutely positive that they're fake?
どういう意味？
What do you mean? The reason I don't remember this picture isn't necessarily because it's fake. There might be some other reason. You know, the memory loss that we were talking about 30 seconds ago. Some terrible reason. An unbelievable but entirely horrifying reason. Okay. Is this gonna be amnesia? Yes. Okay, where's that last day?
そうか、わかったぞ。僕たち全員が記憶を失ってる。それが理由だとしたらどうかな。
Let's say that somehow we'd all lost our memories. That could explain it, couldn't it?
なるほど。全員揃って記憶喪失か。だから写真に見覚えがなかったのか。それなら納得。
Oh, I get it. So we all just lost our memories at the same time and forgot about the photo. Makes sense. Hiro, if you pull a... Like, that doesn't make sense at all. You literally thought that someone standing in front of you was a ghost, okay? You shush.
するわけねえだろ。そんな非現実的なオカルトじみた話で。
As if. You expect me to believe such an unbelievable occult-type story? Yes. Yes. Literally, if anyone was going to believe it, I expect you to believe it, Hiro.
そうだよ。記憶喪失なんていくらなんでも信じらんないよ。
Yeah. We all just lost our memories? That's just crazy. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show Community, but there was like a season where they had a different showrunner and things went slightly off the rails kind of compared to the original part of the series. And the original showrunner came back and explained it all away as there was a gas leak at the school. And that there was a gas leak year that everyone was acting weird and nobody remembers it. And that was such a fantastic way to just like star wipe away an entire season. You believe in UFOs telling people that burgers aren't full of beef. Exactly. It's only natural that they wouldn't believe it. But no matter how much they refuse, if that's the absolute truth, they have no choice. We can't move forward until they accept it. And there's another way to prove it beside those pictures. Hiro's notebook, I'm guessing? Oh shit, that's a lot. The interview DVD. That's gonna be it.
全員が記憶喪失なんて。
So you're saying we all got spontaneous amnesia? Since when did this turn into some kind of sci-fi fantasy? I promise you I haven't lost my memory. Ever since I got to the school. I remember everything. That is likely going to be it. So the idea that we lost all of our memories is totally stupid, obviously. Okay.
全員が記憶喪失。これはいつから？私は記憶喪失。だってこの学園に来てちゃんと全部覚えてるもん。
Ah, that's too late. God damn it.
喪失っていうのはあるわけねえべ。
At least we're lined up in the right spot for this time.
全員が記憶これはいつから？私は記憶だってこの学園に来てちゃんと全部覚えてるもん。
There we go.
それは違う。記憶喪失の可能性を示しているのはあの集合写真だけじゃないんだ。
Those photos aren't the only thing that point to the possibility of memory loss.
この DVD もだよ。これがもう一つの根拠なんだ。
This DVD does the same thing.
それっていやらしいやつじゃないでしょうね。
You're not going to show us something indecent, are you, Toko? We just started the trial. That's for later.
そうじゃなくて、ここに写ってるのは。
No, it's nothing like that.
僕たちみんなと希望が峰学園の学園長との面談の様子だったんだ。
It's a video of all of us being interviewed by the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster.
みんなって誰のこと？
When you say all of us, you mean...
もちろん朝比奈さんもだよ。
I mean all of us, including you.
嘘だよ。私は面談なんてやってないもん。
You lie. I never did any kind of interview.
いいえ、嘘じゃないわ。その DVD を見ればわかるはずよ。
No, it's not a lie. Just watch the DVD and you'll see for yourself. Sci-fi fantasy? You guys are in a room with a robot that is, while controlled, fully functional and moves smoothly. The fuck you mean that you aren't in some sort of fantasy, right? I mean, like, you could nitpick and argue that fantasy is going by, like, the Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings kind of thing, but we are definitely in a speculative fiction right now. The headmaster did, in fact, interview you. What are you saying?
やっぱり覚えてないんだね。
I didn't imagine that you would remember.
覚えてないっていうか。
It's not about whether or not I remember.
だからって信じろっていうの？そんな記憶喪失なんて。
You expect me to believe all of this? That I lost my memory somehow?
だが反論材料がないなら信じるほかあるまい。
Well, we don't have any way to refute it, so we have no choice but to accept it as reality. Yeah, taking it out back real quick, yeah.
つうか戸上っちはなんで余裕なんだって分かってんのか記憶喪失だぞ
How can you say that? We're talking about living, breathing amnesia here.
そんなことより他に気になることがある。
To be honest, I have something else on my mind right now.
そんなことよりって
Something else?
その DVD に録画されているのは俺たちと学園長との面談だと言ったな。
You said the DVD contains recordings of us being interviewed by the headmaster, alright?
それはどんな内容の面談だったんだ？
What were the interviews about? Thank you for asking a decent question, Byakuya. You get a gold star.
学園長は僕たち一人一人に同じ質問をしてたんだ。
The headmaster sat each of us down one at a time and asked us the same question. That would actually be like a really hilarious thing to do for like the Danganronpa games, is basically do like a gold star system sort of thing, that every time a character actually asks a question that's useful, we have a counter for them, and every time they derail things, we give them a negative thing similar to like a tontritis bolt from Spy Family. And we see at the end of the game who actually was the most helpful. The headmaster sat each of us down one at a time and asked us the same question.
この学園での一生を受け入れるか。それが学園長の質問だよ。
He asked us if we could accept the idea of spending the rest of our lives in this school.
何よその質問
What kind of question was that?
それで俺たちは何と答えていた？
And how did we answer?
そんなん断るに決まってんだろ
We'd say no, obviously. Unfortunately, you know.
いや、それが
Actually,
みんな受け入れてたんだ。
we all said we could.
それは僕もそうだった。
Even me.
僕自身の声でここでの一生を受け入れるって答えてたんだ。
I heard myself say yes, I could spend the rest of my life at the school.
なんで受け入れてんのよ
Oh, why? Why would you say yes to something like that?
僕にもわからないよ。だって覚えてないんだ。
I don't know. I don't remember a thing.
でもそれは他のみんなも一緒のはずよ誰も覚えていないんでしょ
Doge, if you're here, you are welcome to take that game mechanic. The same goes for everyone else. No one remembers?
ここでの一生を受け入れたことも学園長との面談さえも
You don't remember choosing to live here forever? Or even talking to the headmaster about it at all?
覚えてないもん何も
It doesn't matter if I remember or not.
記憶喪失とかここでの一生を受け入れたとかいきなり言われても
Even if I bought the whole amnesia thing, the idea that I would want to live here forever. Like I said before, the idea of living in this school forever, if you take out the murder aspect, is starting to be very, very, very attractive. I'm like, yes, okay, so you don't have TV and you don't have the internet and, you know, you don't have your family and friends there, but with like a couple of tweaks, like you have unlimited room and board, okay? My millennial heart is like, okay, this is looking pretty good here.
そんなん信じろって方が無茶だべ
That's just insane. How can I believe that?
無茶でも何でも信じないことには話が進まないわそうよね
Insane or not, we can't move forward until you accept it. Am I right? I mean, there's a library, there's a gym, there's a pool. Like, I don't know. It's not a terrible trade-off.
そうだね正解だからね
You sure are, because it's all true. Free healthcare? Yeah, there's the, as long as we're not running out of supplies, you know, then like, I could be persuaded if you take the murder, the death game aspect out of this.
バカバカしい結論だけど、それが真実なら認めるしかないわ。
I know it sounds absurd, but if it's the truth, there's nothing we can do about it.
それ以外に進む道はないということか。
Indeed, we only have one path in front of us. Then we really...
そうみんな仲良く記憶喪失なの。
Yep, you all totally lost your memory at the same time.
なんか頭痛くなってきた。
This is all making my head hurt.
しかもただの記憶喪失じゃないはずだ。
And this isn't like some normal kind of memory loss.
お前が僕たちの記憶を奪ったんだろう。
You stole those specific memories from us, didn't you?
じゃあバレちゃった。
Oopsie. You figured that part out too, huh?
当然でしょ。全員が同時に記憶喪失なんて、そんな偶然があるわけないわ。
Of course. There's no way we would all just happen to get amnesia at the same time.
でも記憶を奪ったって、そんなのどうやって。
But how could someone just steal our memories?
どうやって？
How?
いやいやいや、そんなことはどうだっていいんだよ。
Come, come, come. That hardly matters right now.
催眠術って言えばリアリティがあるの？
If I said it was
開
hip...
頭手術で脳をいじったって言えば納得するの？
If I said it was hypnotism, would you believe me? Or we opened up your skulls and messed with your brains?
そうじゃないでしょ。問題はそこじゃないはずだよ。
Would you really believe anything I said? How it happened doesn't matter right now.
問題なのは俺たちのどんな記憶を奪ったのか。そういうことだな。
What matters is figuring out what memories you took from us. That's what you're trying to say, alright?
ぷぷぷ、さすがは戸上くんだね。
I knew I could count on you.
学園長との面談、集合写真の撮影、それらの記憶だけを奪ったとは考えられん。
The interview with the headmaster and taking that group photo. Those can't be the only memories that we lost.
そこには何か目的があったはずだ。俺たちの記憶を奪った目的がな。
There must have been a purpose to it all. A reason for taking away our memories.
もちろん目的はあるよ。例の動機にも関係している目的がね。
Of course there was a purpose. It all has to do with the original motive. The original motive?
お前が僕たちに殺し合いをさせるために用意したあの動機のことか。
You mean the motive you came up with to try to get us to all to kill each other? What was the original motive? I thought the original one was that, like, it was the DVDs showing what was happening outside of the school to each of our families and loved ones.
あれが奪われた記憶とも関係しているの。
That has something to do with the memories you stole from us?
うぷぷ、そうなんだけどね。
It sure does.
でもまだ内緒なの。
But that part is still a secret.
忘れてもらっちゃ困るんだけど、これって戦場ムクロ殺しの学級裁判なんだよね。
Anyway, I'm sure it's not easy, but let's all focus on the class trial for the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
つまり、まずは戦場ムクロ殺しの犯人を突き止めろということか。
Okay, so you want us to figure out who killed her before we do anything else. So until we do that, well, either way, we'll have to explain every last remaining mystery. So, the one who killed Mukuro, the true mastermind, that's what we need to expose. Again, you are declaring things that we have known for quite a while now. Okay, the control room, her profile, or the e-handbook. I feel like the profile is going to be the important one here. So who did it? Who killed her?
彼女を殺したの。
Whoever did it is the same one who's been behind everything.
それだけは間違いない。
That much I'm sure of. But when you think about it, is the mastermind really here in the school?
当たり前じゃん。
Of
黒幕
course.
はこの学園にい
They
るは
have
ず
to
だ
be
って
here somewhere.
なぜそう思う？
What makes you so sure?
どうしてだっけ
What does make me so sure? Actually, it's the Monokuma control room that's going to be the important one here.
どうよ
Exactly, you're just making stuff up.
黒幕がここにいるわけないもの
There's no way the Mastermind is here.
黒幕はきっと
The Mastermind is probably a million miles away. Because the Mastermind always lurks off in the background, right? Okay, so it's going to be what Toko said about being a million miles away and the control room.
戦場ムクロを殺したのは
彼女を殺したのそれだけだ
だけど本当にこの学
当たり黒幕はこの学
なぜそう？
どうしてだっけ
適当よだって黒幕はきっと別の場所にいる
There we go.
それは違う。いや、黒幕は間違いなくこの学園の中にいるはずだよ。
There's no question that the Mastermind is somewhere within the school.
何よどうして根拠でも見つけたの
How do you know? Did you find some evidence or something? Yeah, because we actually looked.
情報処理室の奥にモノクマを操作するためのパネルがあったんだ。
In the back of the data center, I found a panel that controls Monokuma.
黒幕はあの操作パネルでモノクマを操ってたんだよ。
The Mastermind must have been using that to control him all this time.
だから間違いないよ。黒幕はずっとこの学園の中にいるんだ。
So there can't be any doubt, the Mastermind has been inside the school all along.
間違いないか。
There can't be any doubt.
だとすると、黒幕の正体がこの中の誰かだということも間違いないんだな。
In which case, there can also be no doubt that the Mastermind is one of us.
なんで
What? What? Oh my god, for like the 18th time. Because there has been nobody in the school except for the students, and if the Mastermind is in the school piloting Monokuma, then they must be one of the students.
思い出してみろ。苗木が聞いたというモノクマの言葉だ。
Okay, I just summed that up, so I'm gonna skip this summary of this again.
つまり、黒幕がこの学園の中にいるなら、その16人の誰かだとしか考えられないはずだ。
So if the Mastermind is in the school, then we have to assume it can only be that 16th student.
だけどその中で今も生き残ってるのって
But how did they manage to survive all of this?
俺らだけ
So we're the only ones here?
俺は違うぞ。黒幕じゃねえかんな。
It's not me. I'm not the Mastermind. No one would ever accuse you of that, Hiro.
私だって違うよ
Well, it's not me.
怪しいのは苗木よ
I blame Makoto. Also, Archfey, we should have had on your list of things that someone was going to point the finger at Makoto at some point. I'm actually surprised it took this long.
どうして僕が
What? Why me?
だっておかしいじゃないあんただけが処刑を免れてるなんて
Because it's super weird how you're the only one who survived being executed. That actually is not a terrible train of thought there, Toko. You know, that... I expected worse. That is not the worst reason to accuse him.
そうか。処刑から生き残れたのは苗木っち自身が黒幕だったからだな。
Oh, I get it. The only way he could have survived is if he was actually the Mastermind himself, right? Yeah, aren't we having this class trial to prove that it's not Makoto? Right? Right? I could see the fact that he survived being extremely suspicious and causing people to be like, wait, what? But, yeah, the if it was Makoto, I think it would have been fine before, you know?
しまったバレた
Ah, nuts. You got me.
待てよ
Monokuma, shut the fuck
何
up.
言ってんだよ
What are you trying to say?
落ち着いて慌てる必要はないわ
Everyone calm down. There's no reason to panic.
黒幕の正体なんてすぐに明らかになるはずよ
The Mastermind's true identity
戦場ムクロ殺しの謎を解き明かせばね
will become clear soon enough. just as soon as we find out who killed Mukuro.
それもそうだな。
That's a good point.
言い争いをしているより、そっちの謎の解明に頭を使う方が得策か。
Rather than wasting time bickering, we should put our minds to work solving this mystery.
でも頭使えって言うけどよ、戦場ムクロの件は散々話し合ったはずだべ。
Yeah, well, how much time have we already spent talking about the murder?
これ以上何を話し合えばいいの？
He's right. What more is there to talk about?
話し合うべきことならあったはずよ。
If you want something to talk about, I think there might be one thing.
まだはっきりしていない。戦場ムクロの致命傷についてよ。
We haven't fully established what Mukuro's fatal injury was.
でも致命傷って後頭部の傷じゃなかったっけ？
Huh? But I thought we figured that out. She died when she got hit on the back of the head.
いいえ、あれは本当の致命傷じゃないわ。
No,
本当の致命傷は他にあったはず。
that isn't what actually killed her. It was something entirely different.
そうよね、ナイキ君。
Wouldn't you agree, Makoto? It was the other wounds.
これだ。彼女の全身にあった数多くの傷。あれが彼女の致命傷なんだよ。
All of the wounds covering her body? That's what really killed her.
こらこらナイニッチ、ちゃんとモノクマファイルを見たんか？
Hey, now hold on a second. You did read the Monokuma file, right? Hiro, are you really accusing us of not doing our due diligence in the research here? The body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old.
ちゃんと書いてあんだろ。あの傷はここ数日の傷じゃねえって。
It made it pretty clear. Those wounds were made at least a few days ago, and we have a freezer. Of all people.
つまりあれは事件とは関係ねえはずだぞ。
So they can't possibly be what killed her. But the file doesn't say how long she's been dead, dude.
じゃあ戦場ムクロの殺人自体がここ数日のことじゃなかったとしたら。
Consider this. What if the murder itself took place at least a few days ago? You know, there would have been no notification of the death if 3 students didn't find it. So yeah, like she could have died at any time.
Huh?
What?
彼女の死体が発見されたのはすでに死後何日か経過した後だったとしたら。
What if when we discovered her body, she'd already been dead for several days?
それならここ数日のものじゃない傷が致命傷でもおかしくはないはずよ。
If that's true, then naturally the wounds that killed her would appear to be however many days old. Kyoko, like, this actually is... I would be arguing with her, honestly. Because for wounds to appear to be however many days old, like, when you're saying that, like, that wound is, like, 5 days old or whatever, you're judging that based off of the amount of, like, healing that's been done. You know, like the scabbing, the new skin regrowth, like stuff like that. For a corpse, a wound that killed the body, especially if it's going to be put into like a freezer or whatever, is not going to look like it's 5 days old, you know? Because at that point, then you're going to be talking about decomposition and like that sort of thing. So this bit, I feel, is a little bit less accurate than some of the other shit in this game.
おかしいわよ。
That doesn't make any sense.
だってそもそもあの全身の傷ってここに来る前からあった傷なのよ。
Because she had all those wounds before she ever came here. Except for, we have in her file that she didn't have any wounds or scars on her body.
え、どうしてそんなことがわかるの？
Huh? How do you know that?
当たり前でしょ。彼女は超高校級の軍人なのよ。ということはつまり
Isn't it obvious? She was the ultimate soldier, right? So that means, you know...
それは違うわね。
You're wrong.
否定された。まだ言ってないのに。
She denied me before I could even say anything. Coco.
やめちょ。本気だわかし。
Toko, you are a very special person. Come on. I mean, you think I'm...
おかしくないわよ。せめて聞いてから否定してよ。
I'm not weird, okay? At least listen to what I have to say before you deny me. No, Toko, you are undeniably weird. You are really weird, okay? Just fucking embrace it. Lean into it, okay? Also, we were saying that you were wrong, not that you were weird. If you're so sure we're gonna deny you, why bother saying it in the first place? Okay, so this is going to be the profile, because that's going to say that she had no scars on her body. Ultimate soldier. She must have been in 100 different battles. So when you think about it... Obviously, she would have something about the wounds in battle. Are you finished? You didn't even... Oh god, I can't read it when it's spinning like that. Okay, so... we definitely know what it is. There.
Yeah. 戦場ムクロは戦場で傷なんて受けていなかったんだ。
No, Mukuro didn't suffer those wounds in battle.
それは学園長室で見つけたファイルにもちゃんと書いてあったはずだよ。
The file we found in the headmaster's room said as much.
フェンリルの一員として幾多の戦場を渡り歩いたにもかかわらず
Despite the time she spent in battle after battle as a member of Fenrir,
入学時の彼女の体には傷らしい傷が一つもなかったって。
when she entered the school, she hadn't sustained a single injury.
ここまで完璧に否定されると逆になんだかすがすがしいわね。
To be denied so completely. Actually, it's kind of refreshing. Toko, you should be used to this. You are denied completely constantly.
これが白夜様の状況のせいか。
Maybe it's because of all of Master's training.
とにかく戦場ムクロの全身にあった傷は全て入学後のものだったんだよ。
Anyways, so we can be sure that Mukuro suffered all of those wounds after coming to the school.
だったらそれが致命傷だった可能性もあるはずだよね。
In which case, they could be the very thing that killed her.
むしろ他の可能性の方が考えられないわね。
As a matter of fact, it's hard to imagine any other possibility.
彼女の死体を調べた限りだと腹部の傷も後頭部の傷も死後に受けた傷だったわ。
When examining her body, I found that her stomach and head wounds came after she was already dead.
他の可能性がないならもう間違いないんじゃないかな。
Unless anyone has any better suggestions, I think we can say with
彼女
confidence.
の全身にあった数多くの傷、それこそが戦場ムクロの致命傷だったんだよ。
The wounds that Mukuro sustained all over her body are what ultimately killed her. Mukuro's fatal injury has been added to the Truth Bullets section of your handbook.
でもよ、戦場ムクロの致命傷があの全身の傷だとすると、
But if that's what killed her,
戦場ムクロが殺されたこと自体がここ数日じゃないってのもマジなんだな。
then does that mean that she's really been dead for 40 years?
そうなのね。
That's exactly what it means.
僕たちが植物庭園で死体を発見した時、彼女の死体はすでに死後何日か経過してたんだよ。
When we found her body in the garden, she'd already been dead for several days.
だとするとその前の晩の件はどうなる？
So then, what about the little matter of what happened last night? Yeah, that's a very good
死体
point.
が発見された前の晩、苗木は覆面の人物に襲われたと言っていたな。
Admittedly, we don't see the tattoo on the hand. And I think that's the correct hand that we're seeing there, too. There's only been one character that's taken that level of damage since we've been in the school, right? Right?
戦場ムクロが何日か前に殺されていたのなら、その時の覆面の正体があいつだとは考えられん。
If Mukuro had already been dead for several days, certainly it couldn't have been her.
では、 苗木を襲った覆面の人物とは
So
何
who
者だったんだ
so who was it that attacked you? The identity of the one that attacked me. I can't think of anyone else. I'm guessing it has to be the Mastermind? Because if Mukuro is dead and the headmaster is not the like, it's the Mastermind.
あの覆面の正体は黒幕だったんだよ。
The one who attacked me was the true Mastermind.
植物庭園で見つけた戦場ムクロの死体が同じ覆面をかぶってたせいで
When we discovered Mukuro in the garden wearing the same mask. Yeah, we starting to piece things together. It's coming together.
あの時の覆面も戦場ムクロだったんだと思い込んでたけど
I naturally assumed she must have been the one who attacked me. The headmaster's bones, remember? True, true. Yes, that's a very, very good point. Yes.
でもそうじゃなかったんだ
But I was wrong.
あの覆面の正体は戦場ムクロじゃなくて黒幕だったんだよ
It wasn't her at all. It was the Mastermind.
なんで笑ってんの？
What are you laughing at?
おとなしく聞いているのも飽きたからそろそろ僕も参加させてもらおうかな
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just getting a little impatient sitting here listening. I think I'm gonna jump in.
じゃあ早速質問するけどさ
Let's start off with a nice, easy question.
苗木君を襲ったのが僕だなんてそんなのただの推測でしょ
Your assumption that I attacked Makoto is just that, right? An assumption.
譜面をかぶってて顔もわからないのに中身が誰かなんてわかるわけないもんね
You can't really know who was under that mask, can you? I mean, that's the whole point of a mask.
あの覆面の正体は戦場ムクロだよむしろ僕はそう思うよ
The true identity of the masked attacker is Mukuro Ikusaba. At least that's what I think.
Nobody cares what you think.
そんな僕を納得させられる根拠はあるのかしらね
Do you have any evidence that might convince me otherwise?
No, there's no way that Mukuro is the one that attacked me. Even if I didn't see their face. Mukuro had a very obvious Fenrir tattoo. Comparing that to the masked attacker, it should be obvious. When we were going through things before, I didn't notice the tattoo in any of the... Well, we only have one piece of evidence here, the Monokuma file, so obviously we're using that. Unless we have to slurp something. Let's double check Monokuma file. I do not think... Yeah, there's nothing in this file about the tattoo, so we're gonna have to slurp. So you can't have any idea of who was under the mask? Telling you it was Mukuro Ikusaba?
いいえ
You're wrong, even without seeing their face.
他の特徴と比べて
There's another part of the attacker we can use to prove that it wasn't her. Oh? And what is that other part? Oh, seriously? I think it was the right hand? Her most noticeable tattoo, or feature, the tattoo that marked her membership in Fenrir. That tattoo was in a certain easy-to-spot area. Okay, so I'm assuming... There.
それは違うよ 戦場ムクロの右手にはタトゥーがあったはず
I'm happy I remembered that it was the right hand. I was like, oh, is that right or left? I'm really not sure. Mukuro had a tattoo on her right hand, if I remember correctly. Is it just me, or does it seem that Monokuma is getting more desperate? I mean, you know, definitely I'm assuming that this kind of, like, last chance trial where we, you know, we're going into this detail is not something that Monokuma wanted, right? So I could see that Monokuma is getting more desperate.
フェンリルを表す狼のタトゥーだよ
A representation of Fenrir. In other words, a wolf tattoo. But I saw the right...
僕を襲った覆面の人物の右手には
But I saw the right hand of the person who attacked me.
そんなタトゥーなんてなかったんだ
And there was no such tattoo.
つまりあの覆面の正体が戦場ムクロだとは考えられないんだ
So there's no question the person behind the mask was Mukuro. I mean, admittedly, again, if some of the girls have makeup, you could cover that with, like, foundation and concealer. I've seen some amazing work of covering tattoos for people, like the skeleton guy who has his face, like, completely tattooed as a skull. I've seen that covered, and him, like, you can't tell that there's a tattoo there. Getting closer and closer to turnabout time, not to mention that Makoto isn't even supposed to be alive right now. 100%.
確かに戦場ムクロではなかったみたいだね。
Yeah, well, okay. You got me. I guess it wasn't her.
さあ、だからってあの覆面の正体が僕とは限らないじゃん。
But that still doesn't prove it was me.
他の誰かだったのかもしれないよ。
It could have been, you know, someone else, right?
あの晩俺と葉隠れと深川と朝比奈には確かなアリバイがあるんだ
Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I all have solid alibis for that entire night.
俺らはずっと体育館でおめえを解体してたんだ。だから俺らは絶対に違うべ。
Yeah, we were in the gym tearing you apart, so it couldn't have been any of us.
確かにその4人でもないのかもしれないけど。
Okay, sure, it couldn't have been any of you. But it could have still been Kyoko.
だったらギリギリさんは彼女だったら可能性があるはずじゃない。
But what about Kyoko? It totally could have been her.
おやおや、反論できないの？ひょっとして図星？
Uh-oh. No snappy comeback? Did I score a bullseye?
分かったね。じゃあ見せてあげるわよ。
If you insist, I don't mind showing you.
見せるって？
And show me what?
もちろん、その覆面の正体が私じゃないって証拠よ。
What do you think? I'll show you the one thing that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it wasn't me. Before anyone could say anything. Kyoko was removing her gloves. Oh, right, the scarred hands.
その手
Your hands. Without thinking, I let out a gasp. It was more than just a little burned skin.
ひどいやけどでしょ。
Awful, isn't it?
私がまだ未熟だった頃の探偵として活動を始めたばかりの頃の傷よ。
It happened when I was first learning to be a detective. I was
それ
inexperienced.
って人には見せたくない傷じゃ
I thought you didn't want anyone to see those scars. I mean, if it comes down to surviving this or not, like, I'd be willing to show my scarred hands.
黒幕の正体を暴くためならこれくらいは大したことじゃないわ。
If it means we get another step closer to unmasking the mastermind, it doesn't really bother me. Kyoko seemed to savor the words as she said them. Then she put her gloves back on.
今のやけどの跡が根拠になるはずよ。
My scars should suffice as proof.
だって苗木君を襲った人物の手にはこんな傷なんてなかったでしょ。
Makoto, did the person who attacked you have scars like mine?
確かにやけどの跡は見なかったよ
No, not at all. I'm positive.
だったらこれではっきりしたわね。
Then this much has been made clear.
苗木君を襲った覆面の正体は間違いなく黒幕だったはずよ。
There can be no doubt that the one that attacked Makoto is the true mastermind.
ぷっぷっぷ、まったく散々だよ。
This is just awful.
秘密をばらされた上にギリギリさんのグロい傷まで見させられるなんて。
God, Monokuma, it's mean.
On top of my secret being revealed, I had to look at those positively grotesque scars of yours.
ごめん、口が滑っちゃう。もしかして傷ついた？
Sorry, did I say that out loud? I do hope I didn't hurt your feelings.
別に 何とでも言えばいいわ。
Not at all. You can say whatever you want.
僕を追い詰めるためなら構わないって。いやいや、まだ追い詰められたとはいかないよ。
Sure, as long as it means pushing me further into the corner, right? But I'm not cornered just yet.
だって戦場ムクロ殺しの犯行についてはまだ全然判明してないんだしさ。
Because if you haven't noticed, the circumstances surrounding Mukuro's death are totally unknown.
今のところ分かってるのって殺されたのがかなり前ってことだけだね。
That is true. All we know right now is that she was killed a good while before this morning.
逆にそれ以外がさっぱりだべ。
On the contrary, we don't know anything other than that. What? Hiro, shush.
俺たちが閉じ込められる前にすでに殺されていたなんてことはないだろうな。
You're not gonna tell us she was already dead before we arrived here or something, are you?
ぷぷぷ、その点についてはご心配に及びません。
In that regard, you have nothing to worry about.
彼女が殺されたのは間違いなくこの殺し合い学園生活が始まった後ですから。
I promise you, without a doubt, she died after our little killing game here began.
では戦場ムクロは俺たちの知らぬ間にひっそりと殺されていたのか。
Then somehow, she was killed in secret, without any of us knowing.
しかも殺されてから俺らに見つけられるまで結構な時間が空いてんだろ。
And after she died, who knows how much time went by before we found her, right?
その間死体はどこに置いてあったんだ。ずっと植物庭園にあったんか。
Did the culprit stash her somewhere? She couldn't have been in the garden the whole time, could she?
あんなところにずっと置いといたら腐ってるわよ。それこそあんたみたいにね。
If she was, she would have been totally decomposed, just like your brain. Toko, you are not being much more helpful, okay?
じゃあどこかに保存でもしてたんか。
Then she was being stored somewhere?
でも死体を隠せてしかも保存しておける場所なんて。
But to hide a body here, to just store it somewhere, we have a morgue. There's only one place. I can't think of anywhere else the body could have been stored. Yeah, it was stored in the kitchen. It's been in the fridge the entire time.
戦場ムクロの死体は生物室に隠されてたんだよ。
Mokuro's body was probably kept hidden in the biolab.
生物室って5階の？
The biolab? You mean on the fifth floor?
あの生物室は死体安置所として使われてたんだ。
That's right. It's actually set up for use as a morgue.
あの場所だったら死体も隠せるし、保存だって問題なかったはずだよ。
So it's the perfect place to hide a body, and it'd keep the body preserved at the same time.
ではあの死体は生物室から植物庭園まで運ばれてきたということか。
Then you're also saying that the body was moved from the biolab to the garden.
あの死体が運ばれてるのは間違いないよ。そう思う根拠だってあるんだ。
And I have no doubt that that's exactly what happened. In fact, I have proof. We have a tarp with a biolab symbol on it. The proof that shows the body was carried from the biolab to the garden. It is the tarp.
これだ。あの死体が生物室から植物庭園まで運ばれたと考えられる根拠は、
What makes me so sure that the body was carried from the biolab to the garden is
植物庭園にあったあのビニールシートなんだ。
the tarp that we found in the garden.
あれをもう一度調べ直してる時に気づいたことがあったんだ。
When I was checking it over again, I noticed something.
ビニールシートの端に押された小さなスタンプだよ。
I noticed that some text had been stamped onto one corner of the tarp.
生物室って書いてあるよ。
Oh, it says biolab.
こんなちっこいのよく気づいたな。
Holy cow. How'd you notice that tiny little thing? I mean, it seems gigantic, but admittedly, we might just be zoomed in on a corner there.
苗木のせせこましい性格が吉と出たようだな。
Makoto's nitpicky nature seems to have surfaced with perfect timing.
つまりあのビニールシートは元は生物室にあったものなんだよ。
This proves that the tarp originally came from the biolab.
実際生物室には同じようなビニールシートが山積みになってたしね。
In fact, there's a whole stack of tarps just like it in there.
きっと犯人は 生物質の死体を植物庭園に運ぶ際、あのビニールシートにくるんだ状態で運んだのよ。
Bitch, we are trying to live, yeah. So when the killer moved the body to the garden, they must have grabbed a tarp to wrap it in.
そしてそのままスプリンクラーをやり過ごし、その後で例の白衣を着せたのね。
Then they simply left it as it was to protect against the sprinklers and put the coat on it afterwards.
見事に辻褄が合うじゃない。
Wow, you made everything sound so amazingly consistent.
でもそんなのってさ、ただの推測じゃん。
But that's just a wild guess.
死体をビニールシートで包んで運んだなんて、その証拠はどこにあるのさ。
Prove that the body was wrapped in a tarp and moved.
証拠はないわ。私は自分の推測を話しただけだもの。
There is no evidence. I was simply explaining what I think happened.
それなのに、あなたは随分ムキになってるのね。
But you seem to be getting pretty worked up about it, wouldn't you say?
ムキ。
Worked up?
わかってるわ。話が生物質に及んで、内心穏やかじゃないんでしょ。
Now that the conversation has turned to the topic of the biolab, you must be getting pretty nervous. Yeah, GG'd yourself, yeah. My husband and I were watching a show called like Dark Winds recently, and there's a thing like that too, where a character is like, so how long have you been, you know, doing whatever? And the guy's like, how did you know I've been doing whatever? And he's like, because you just admitted it.
あの生物質にこそ、あなたの正体を暴く鍵が隠されているんだものね。
Because the key to uncovering your secret identity is hidden within that room, isn't it?
黒幕の正体を暴く鍵？
Are you talking about unmasking the mastermind?
あの生物質にはある矛盾点があったわ。
You see,
とても見過ごすことのできない大きな矛盾点がね。
the biolab contained an inconsistency, one so major it can't be overlooked. Yeah, the number of bodies. An inconsistency in the biolab. Could you be talking about...
聞こえない、聞こえないよ。
La la la, can't hear you. La la la.
幼稚な妨害ね。無視して続けましょう。
Such a child. Oh well, just ignore him. I need to pull myself together and think. The inconsistency in the biolab. Could you be talking about...
ところで苗木くん、例の件についてはどう思う？
Hey, by the way, Makoto, what about that one thing?
Monokuma, I could count the pixels in your sprite there.
なんだよ、例の件って。
He gets upset and suddenly he's like in NES graphics. What one thing?
うぷぷ、そりゃもちろん。
What do you think? I'm talking about
苗木くんのご家族の件だよ。
your family.
What?
うぷぷ、忘れたわけじゃないよね。あのビデオメッセージのことをさ。
Don't tell me you forgot about that video message.
あれって何だったのかね。結局ご家族は無事なんですかね。
So what do you think? Are you sure your family's still okay?
Yeah, what about him? Kind of irrelevant at the moment. Yeah. Oh,
なんで今さらそんなことを。
why are you bringing that up now? Because he's threatening you, Makoto.
お父さん、お母さん、妹さん、苗木家のご家族に何があったのでしょうか。
Your mom, your dad, your little sister. What do you think's happened to your family?
果たして彼らは無事なのでしょうか。
Are they really as safe as you might have assumed?
いい加減にしろよ。
Stop talking about that.
苗木くん、落ち着いて。あなたを惑わそうとしているだけよ。
Calm down, Makoto. He wants you to get upset. Yeah, I need to calm down. I can't let him get to me. He's just saying that because he knows we're getting close to the truth of the biolab. So if I want to shut him up, I need to expose the inconsistency and slam him with it. The inconsistency has to be that one area where the numbers just don't match up. Oh, rhythm game time.
本当にいいのかな、そんなわけないじゃない。本当にいいのかな、そんなわけないじゃない。ふま何さ、何なのさ。本当にいいのかな、そんなわけないじゃない。本当にいいのかな、そんなわけない。
Damn it.
本当にいいのかな、そんなわけないじゃない。本当にいいのかな。
This is not going well.
ふま何さ、何なのさ。本当にいいのかな、証拠証拠証拠。本当にいいのかな、そんなわけないじゃない。
Ugh, that was bad. Yeah, it's because the rhythm... It's not actually a rhythm game. Oh, what? Oh, shit. Oh, well, I didn't realize there was multiples there. God damn it. Yeah, I stopped paying attention at the end there and didn't realize that there was more than one possibility for the shot. But yeah, the rhythm game is off tempo. So I have to actually look at the indicator and not play by the sound, which is tough. Okay, so let's redo this. And at least now we know that there's actually going to be a bit at the end that we have to focus on and choose the correct evidence for as well.
本当にいいのかな、本当にいいのかな、そんなわけないじゃない。ふま何さ、何なのさ。本当にいいのかな、そんなわけないじゃない。本当にいいのかな、そんなわけないじゃない。
Oh, it's the lights. There we go. Yeah, so it went much better when I actually looked at the indicator instead of playing by the music. The inconsistency Kyoko's talking about is the lights.
なんだよ。あのランプが、なんだっていうのさ。
What are you talking about? What about the lights?
さっきも言ったけど、あの生物室には死体安置所としての役割があったんだ。
Like I said before, the biolab also acts as a morgue.
あの部屋に設置されてた冷蔵庫。
And as part of that, a giant refrigerator was installed there.
あの中に犠牲になったみんなが保存されてるんだ。
That's where everyone who's died is stored.
そしてあの冷蔵庫は使用中の場合ランプが青く点灯する仕組みになっていたわ。
And it was set up so that way when a slot had a body in it, a blue light would turn on.
つまり青いランプが点灯している冷蔵庫には死体が入っているということか。
In other words, if the blue light is on, that means that there's a body in that slot.
だけど生物室で点灯していたランプの数は草場ムクロの死体が入れられてる冷蔵庫も含めて
But I counted up the number of blue lights that were on, including the one that Mukuro was in.
全部で9個だけだったんだ。
And there were only 9.
それがどうしたんだ。噛み砕いてジェル状にして言ってくれ。
Why does that matter, man? You gotta give me the bite-sized versions here. Like, you know, I know that I've been bad at keeping track of the number of students that were actually dead, but there's only, what, 6 of us left? And there's supposed to be 16 students, so there should be 10 lights on, not 9. Oops. There are 10 lights!
本来なら点灯しているはずのランプの数は10個じゃなきゃおかしいんだよ。
And yes, that was a Star Trek The Next Generation reference, for anyone wondering. We are giving you the bite-sized version, exactly. 10 left the lights should have been on. Any other number is incredibly suspicious.
おかしいってどうしてよ。
Suspicious? Why?
犠牲になったみんなのことを思い出してみればすぐにわかるはずよ。
We dissect this any further, we're gonna need a microscope. Yeah, that's simple. Just recall who's died so far, and it should become clear. That's right. That's the key to solving this mystery. Sayaka died first. Junko was second. Leon was third. Chihiro was fourth. Mondo was fifth. Taka was sixth, and then Hifumi was seventh. Celeste was eighth. Sakura was ninth. And victim number 10 was Mukuro.
あれ全部で10人
So 10 people in all?
そうなんだ。本来なら犠牲者の数は10人じゃなきゃおかしいんだよ。
That's right. Any other number should make you immediately suspicious.
それなのに生物室に保管されてる死体は9人分だけだった。
But according to the lights in the biolab, only 9 people were being stored there.
死体が消えたってことか？
To quote a favorite, can you count, suckers? I say the future is ours if you can count. What's that from? I don't know that quote. You're saying a dead body just up and disappeared?
わかった黒幕が証拠隠滅のために死
The
体を処
Warriors?
理しちゃったんだよ
My husband is very embarrassed of me of the fact that I've never actually seen The Warriors. I should sit down and watch it at some point. I got it. The Mastermind destroyed one of the bodies to get rid of the evidence.
でも黒幕が証拠隠滅するなら自分が関わっている戦場ムクロの死体を処分するはずだよ。
But if they wanted to do that, then they would have destroyed Mukuro's body since they actually killed her.
だけど彼女の死体は残ったままだったんだ。
And yet, her body was left alone.
じゃあ誰の死体が消えちゃったの
Then whose body disappeared? It's almost as if we should have taken the time to open every drawer in the morgue instead of just not investigating that, right? That feels like that would have been very useful information to have.
そもそも消えたわけじゃないのかもしれない。
It may very well be that none of them disappeared.
消えてないならどうして死体の数が合わないのよ。
It's like Kyoko's splitting hairs there. Like she's going off of the word disappeared. I still say it would be very useful to know which student we think is dead is not in one of those drawers.
モノクマの処刑を含めた殺人は10回起きたけど、でもそれらの犠牲者は9人しかいなかった。
Including Monokuma's executions, there have apparently been 10 deaths, but there were only 9 bodies.
つまりそういうこと。
That's the point I'm trying to make.
全然わかんないよなんで殺人が起きた回数より犠牲者の数が少ないの
I'm completely lost. How can the number of victims be less than the number of murders? The reason there are less bodies than murders. The explanation for more murders than victims. Why is that? What would it take for that to make sense? The same person was killed twice.
これだ。同じ人物が2回殺されてるとしたら。
What about if the same person was killed twice? Yeah, nobody saw how Mukuro died.
2回殺されたって？
Huh? Killed twice.
今までに起きた10回の殺人。そのうち1回だけは
Officially, 10 murders have been committed so far.
すでに殺されている人物をもう一度殺したものだったのかもしれない。
But one of the victims may have been murdered. And then murdered again.
すでに殺されている人物をもう一度殺した？
Murdered and murdered again?
それなら殺人が10回起きたとしても犠牲者は9人しかいないってことになるはずだよね。
If that's the case, there could have been 10 killings, but still only 9 victims, right? It does break the internal rules of the game, though, because the body discovery alarm is only supposed to go off when 3 students discover a body for the first time. So Like, it is against the internal logic of the game.
それはそうかもしれないけど、でもそんなことって。
Technically, you're right, I guess, but still, something like that
あり得るはず。いえ、間違いなくあったはずよ。
could easily have happened. No, it is what happened.
もう分かっているようだな。その2回殺された人物が誰なのかも。
It sounds like you're already convinced. Then, can you tell us who was killed twice?
もちろん戦場ムクロよ。
It was Mukuro, of course.
つまり彼女は戦場ムクロとして殺される前にすでに別の誰かとして殺されていたの。
Muggy, we found like 5 or 6 inconsistencies. True, but I'm gonna point them out when I find them. I think this is actually Sakura's body. I think differently. There's someone else that I very much suspect. Before she was killed as Mukuro Ikasaba, she was killed as someone else.
だからこそ、その死体は植物庭園で見つけられる前から生物室に保存されていた。そういうことか。
Yeah, the universe forgets its own internal logic. Yeah, it's a cartoon. Cartoons don't have to make 100% sense, and Homer just walks by the outside, like outside the window while he's inside talking to the kids as well.
いやいや、それはないでしょう。草場ムクロは別の誰かとして殺されてるなんて。
Oh, you wanted to see if I'd point out the vastly different body shapes? That, however, is the sort of thing that I feel that this game would just hand wave away. You know? They're like, oh, no, it's the same. It's the same. Like, nobody cares. Nobody notices that.
No, that's crazy talk. She was killed as someone else? Come on.
っていうか、誰だよ、別の誰かって。
Besides, who could that someone else even have been?
それが誰だったのかは彼女の致命傷に注目すれば見えてくるわ。
All you have to do is look at those bodily injuries of hers, and that'll become obvious. Is this the time? Is this the time that we reveal the person who I know has been alive this entire time is actually still alive?
見えてくるわけないじゃん。
Nothing's gonna become obvious.
だってそんなのギリギリさんの妄想だもん。
Because Kyoko's totally delusional.
Yeah, Monokuma was trying to frame Kyoko earlier, and when that didn't work, said that Makoto was the black. Yeah. Okay, so all we have is the file 5, so we're probably gonna have to slurp. Who is this someone else that Makoto was killed as? Sayaka Maizono? Just listing all the people. Shit. Oh, there was a purple perfectly over it. I didn't even notice. There we go. Oh, I accidentally slurped it. God damn it. There.
Enoshima Junko-san.
Junko.
彼女の致命傷って戦場ムクロの致命傷と似てるよね。
Wasn't her fatal injury pretty similar to Mukuro's?
似てるってどういう意味？
What do you mean?
だって江ノ島さんって
Well, remember what happened to her?
全身をたくさんの槍で貫かれて殺されちゃったんだよね。
She was impaled by a bunch of spears all over her body.
戦場ムクロの致命傷は全身にある数多くの傷。
And Mukuro died from a number of wounds across her body. So since we've come to this point, like, unfortunately, I did catch a spoiler, like, between when I was playing this in, like, 2018 and now, that Junko was still alive. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I didn't really think anything of it. But as soon as it became apparent that the Mastermind was a student at the school, I'm like, oh, it's fucking Junko. It's Junko. If she's still alive, then it's her. So it didn't really, like, mean anything to me at the time when I caught the spoiler. I was just like, oh, okay, there's some twist happening somewhere. But as soon as, you know, like, I got further in the game, I'm like, oh, Junko is 10,000% the mastermind. I like to imagine that repeating isn't a gameplay thing. Everyone just loves repeating themselves.
江ノ島純子の致命傷は全身を貫いた数多くの槍。
I'm gonna strangle whoever spoiled that for you. I'm assuming I probably came across it like on Reddit or something, or some sort of meme. I don't remember why I came across that, but yeah, it's a little disappointing. But on the other hand, like, at least I still had, like, replaying the game, it still didn't, like, clue in until we had that confirmation that the mastermind was a student. Then the similarities match?
そうその二人の致命傷だけが奇妙に一致しているのよ
Yes, and those are the only fatal injuries that match up.
それが理由それらの死体が同一人物だと考えられる理由
I mean, even if it hadn't have been spoiled, sort of thing, like, even without the injuries matching up, I would have been pretty fucking suspicious of those long red nails on the hand of Mukuro as well, where I'm like, wait a second, this is the same body. That explains why those two bodies are actually one and the same.
つまりこういうことか。
So, let me see if I have this straight.
あの時全身を無数の槍に貫かれ、江ノ島純子として殺された死体は
Junko, or someone going by that name, was stabbed to death with multiple spears.
しばらく生物室に安置された後で再び引っ張り出される。
Then her body was kept in the biolab for however long before being dragged out again.
今度は戦場ムクロの死体として俺たちの前に現れた。
Only this time, it was presented as the corpse of one Mukuro Ikusaba, the 16th student, the ultimate despair, hidden somewhere in the school.
ここ数日のものじゃない傷が死体の致命傷でもさ
It all matches up, right? Those wounds that Junko suffered could easily be the same injuries.
じゃあマジなんか戦場ムクロの死体と江ノ島っちの死体は同一人物のもので
Then, it's really true? Mukuro and Junko are the same person?
あれだとすると
Wait, so then,
どういうことになるんだ
what does it all mean?
犠牲者の数が10人ではなく実際は9人だったとなると
It means that there haven't been 10 victims, but 9.
死んだと思われていた人間の中に実は生きている人間が存在していることになる
Which also means that among the people we thought were dead, one is still alive.
ってことはそれが黒幕の正体なんだね
And that's the true identity of the mastermind?
誰だべ誰が黒幕なんだ
Who is it? Who's behind all of this?
そんなの決まってるじゃない戦場ムクロあいつが生きてるのよ
We already know the answer to that. It's Mukuro. She's still alive. No, you're a little backwards there, Toko.
あいつは最初に殺された江ノ島の死体を使って
She took Junko's body
自分が死んだと見せかけてたのよ
and made it look like she was the one who died.
つまり戦場ムクロはまだ生きてる間違いないわ
So Mukuro is still alive. She's gotta be.
黙秘
Total silence?
図星なのね
Then I must be right. I'm right, aren't I? Again, that is a logic jump there. Toko, I would be more concerned with him being silent because he'd be like, oh, no, you're wrong. I'm not going to make a smell. I'm not going to do a single thing to shake you off of this wrong path. Like, we've already seen where when we were getting close, he started throwing out all sorts of, like, false information and accusations to try to get people off the path. Him being silent is a bad sign here. Hey, sis, how's it going? Welcome in. How is Friday treating you? Mukuro is alive? The one that's still alive is Mukuro? But can we really believe that? No, there's no way. There's no way that Mukuro Kasaba is still alive because we have a fucking corpse with a tattoo on the hand. Okay, so file 5, her profile and her fatal injury. Let's take a quick look at those again. File 5. Was it her profile? Confirm that the corpse matches these characteristics. It might be the profile. I think it's likely the profile. Kind of good trying to recover from a cold. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you're feeling better. You got a weekend now to rest up. Hopefully I'm well tomorrow. Hope you're good. Not too bad. It's been a bit of a rough week, but you know, just chilling out. Looking forward to doing a bunch of video editing over the weekend, and I forgot I have a hair appointment tomorrow, so I gotta go and get my hair done. So yeah, I think that this one is going to be the profile. The body we found in the garden. It wasn't Mukuro. Then she's still alive? That's right, she made it look like Junko's body was her. So the Mastermind's true identity is Mukuro. What do you say, Monokuma? Do you just give up? Okay. For that to be true, then that couldn't have been her body we found in the garden. Is that really possible? Okay, profile versus... Okay. Heck yeah, I've also kind of fixed my sleep schedule. Good! I'm glad to hear that. Sleep troubles are so frustrating. No, the body we found in the garden was Mukuro. That's one thing we can be sure of. The body's appearance and measurements are consistent with her records. Right, Kyoko?
体重は44キロ。3サイズは80、55、82。
She was 5'6" tall and weighed 97 pounds. Her vitals were 31, 21, 32. Again, I object to the term vitals there. Like, that's her measurements. Even specifically, Kyoko said her 3 size. Her 3 sizes. So that is bust, waist, hip. That is not vitals. Everything in her profile is consistent with that corpse. Japan tends to label them as such, but vitals isn't the correct term. Like, you know, the term in Japanese is 3 size. So it's, I don't know, I find it just a really weird translation choice there. And there's the matter of the Fenrir tattoo, so there's no question that it's her. But if Mukuro's not the mastermind, then who's actually alive? Someone made it look like they died, but they're still actually alive. There's only one person it could be. Junko! There you are.
これが僕の答えだ。江ノ島純子。生きているのは彼女の方だ。
It's a historical one.
そうとしか考えられないよ。
I've ran into a lot of materials that do that. Oh, okay. Junko is still alive. It's the only possibility.
本当にそうなのか？
Are you sure about that?
確かに戦場ムクロが死んでいる以上、他に可能性があるのは江ノ島純子だけだろう。
I admit, since Mukuro is undoubtedly dead, Junko does seem to be the only other explanation.
だが、江ノ島純子は俺たちの目の前で槍に貫かれて死んだはず。
But we saw her get impaled, and she died right before our very eyes.
江ノ島純子が生きているとなると、あの死は演技だったということになるが。
If Junko were still alive, the death we saw would have had to have been some kind of charade.
江ノ島純子の死は、お前自身も確認していたはずだぞ。
But you yourself confirmed she was dead, did you not? I mean, I'm not a fucking doctor. Now that you mention it. I gently placed my hand on Junko's lifeless body. I touched her wrist to check for a pulse like they do in movies and stuff. She really is dead. I am not a fucking doctor. There wasn't anything else to say. She was gone. I did check, absolutely. And I can say for sure.
島さんは死んでいたんだ。間違いなく。
She was dead. There's no question. Junko was dead.
じゃあ江ノ島ちゃんが生きてるっていうのは
So the idea that she's still alive,
間違ってるのかも。
it must be wrong.
早くも前言でかい。
Then you're withdrawing your previous statement?
うぷうぷぷぷぷ。せっかく頑張ったのにお気の毒でした。凪くんの推理は不正解だったみたいだね。
I know you gave it your best shot, but too bad. I guess your conclusion was a dud.
残念でした。
Come on, Kyoko, it's time to jump in.
Ahaha, too bad, too bad.
まだそう決まったわけじゃないわよ。
Thank you, Kyoko. Hey, Garode, how's it going? Where are they putting all the dead if they weren't putting them in the biolab? No, they're putting them in the biolab. It's, there's 9 lights lit up for the storage drawers, in the morgue there. And, there are 9 dead bodies in there. The main issue that we had was that we thought that 10 students had died, but we've since proven that 1 body was used twice and made to look like another student had died. This case hasn't been decided just yet. Oh?
苗木君もまだ諦めたわけじゃないでしょ。
You haven't given up already, have you, Makoto? Huh?
もちろんだよ。諦めるわけないじゃないか。
No, of course not. There's no way I'd give up that easy.
諦めないのは結構だが、この問題にはどう型をつけるつもりだ？
That's all well and good, but how do you intend to solve the problem standing in your way?
江ノ島は間違いなく死んでいた。そして戦場ムクロも間違いなく死んでいたとなると。
Junko absolutely died. Mukuro absolutely died. I'm saying that Mukuro was pretending to be Junko when Junko was killed. The long red nails. Like, whether she had, again, cover-up on her tattoo or something, that was not Junko who was speared through. That was Mukuro.
つまりどっちも死んでるってことだべ。生き残りなんていねえって話だべ。
Then both of them are dead, right? There can't be any kind of survivor story.
だったら逆に考えてみたらどうかしら。
I think we need to look at this from the opposite direction.
え逆って
The opposite direction?
もし江ノ島純子が生きているとしたら、彼女はどうやって生き残ったの？
Let's assume that Junko is still alive. If so, how could she have survived? How could Junko have survived? I checked her. She was dead, I'm sure of it. I mean, if we hadn't seen, like, the spears actually going through her, I would make some sort of case that this is, like, movie magic, prop weapon, like, you know? Although, so, fun fact, a slight story time there. I had one of those knives that the blade, they're plastic and the blade goes back into the handle and it's like spring loaded. They're like the Halloween, I got it at Halloween time or whatever. And I was playing around with that and just like stabbing myself with it over and over again and decided to stab myself in the head with it. And there was a slight split in the plastic and the blade got wedged into that in the, like the split in the handle. And so it basically locked itself, so I stabbed myself in the head and it didn't retract. And I'm like, ow! Yeah, so, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. I checked her. She was dead. I'm sure of it. You have one of those? Yeah. It's not, it didn't really hurt that bad or anything, you know? It wasn't like I was ramming it into my head at full speed. But still, it was like, ow, pointy. But still, if she were alive somehow, could it be that Junko's not the one that died? It wasn't Junko, but someone else entirely? Maybe she used some sort of trick. I guess wigs exist. Well, I don't know what this is supposed to be spelling. Replace? We want ED. There. That's it. What if she switched places with someone else? Switched places? That's right. Before the spears could kill her, she got someone to take her place. Specifically, Mukuro Ikusaba.
それなら後で再利用されたのもその戦場ムクロの死体ということになるはずだな。
Then that would make it Mukuro's corpse that showed up later.
その身体的特徴も戦場ムクロのプロフィールと一致するはずだよね。
Which is why the body's height and weight and everything matched Mukuro's profile, right? I don't know anything about the switching places thing, but... That had to be Junko who got stabbed to death, right? I mean, admittedly, I know that anime has a lot of, like, same face going on, but honestly, if you take away the big hair, she does look very similar to the photo that we saw of Mukuro Ikusaba in her profile. Yeah, you're saying that they switched? When could they have done that? I mean, frankly, it could have been from the very beginning. Right when she was about to die? Like she used some kind of ninja replacement technique? It could have been Mukuro Ikusaba pretending to be Junko the entire time. We may have never actually seen Junko. Good point. There's no way she could have just switched like that. So maybe the whole idea is wrong. There has to be some way. I need to figure out how to explain how they could have switched. Yeah, they switched at the beginning. The two of them may have switched places from the very beginning. What? From the beginning? Yes, from the moment we first met. If that's when they switched. Then they wouldn't have had to switch at the moment of death, right? My real question here is, like, what's in this for Mukuro? Like, why would Mukuro agree to switch with Junko and die, basically? Because that had to have been part of the plan. I mean, I guess there's the idea that she's part of that despair group, right? So if the two of them were part of the despair group, okay, never mind.
だってあそこで殺されたのはすでに戦場ムクロだったんだからさ。
After all, the one we saw at that point would have had already been Mukuro.
待て。だとすると、俺らが会ってたあの江ノ島っちも。
Hold on. So you're saying that the Junko we first met? Yeah, she was called the Ultimate Despair. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how much of that was incorrect information that was being fed to us with all the rest of the incorrect information in the last trial. Because, like, she kind of got changed from being referred to as the Ultimate Despair to being referred to as the Ultimate Soldier. So I wasn't sure if maybe some of the bullshit, like some of the info we had was bullshit, but I think it's actually, it's that both of them are part of the Despair group. Yeah.
じゃあ私たちは戦場ムクロと会ってたってこと？
Then we'd already met her?
っていうか私普通に話してたよ。
I had like a normal conversation with her?
俺たちは互いの素性を知らないままであった。
When we first met, none of us knew who anyone else was. I do love that some of the most dangerous characters in this game are like the female characters. You know, like the Mastermind. Like if I'm like 99.9% sure that is Junko at this point. So the Mastermind was a woman. The Ultimate Soldier, Sakura, like some of the ones that you do not want to tangle with were girls, and I kind of love it.
だから戦場ムクロが江ノ島純子を名乗ったところで
So Mukuro could have just simply told us that her name was Junko.
それに気づくことは不可能だった。
And we never would have known the difference.
そうやって二人は最初から入れ替わっていたということか。
That would very easily allow the two of them to switch places from the very beginning. There was also the whole fact that like Junko was in the magazines, right? And we commented on the fact that she looked different between the magazine and real life. And she was like, that's Photoshop. But it wasn't Photoshop, we now know. It was because she actually was somebody different who, using like a wig and makeup and stuff, was trying to make herself look like Junko Enoshima. That would easily allow the two of them to switch places from the very beginning.
でもさ、戦場ムクロって手の甲にタトゥーがあるんだよね。
And this is the sticky part, like going up talking about the tattoo and the fact that she covered it up. If we're gonna do that line of logic, then that opens up the fact that, you know, Mukuro could have been the person who attacked me at night, and all of the other reasons why we've included or excluded people because of the hand tattoo.
だけど、あの時の江ノ島ちゃんにはそんなタトゥーなんてなかったよ。
Junko never had any tattoo like that, did she?
ファンデーションでも使って隠しておいたんでしょうね。
She could have hidden it with foundation or something like that, which is what I've been saying every time we've talked about the tattoo through the whole fucking game.
それが爆発と消化の際に溶けて、タトゥーがあらわになったんじゃないかしら。
If she did, it likely melted away in the explosion, exposing the tattoo after the body was extinguished. I don't think that's how foundation works, but we'll continue.
ついでに言えば、戦場ムクロの死体の付け爪は
Plus, there were fake nails found on the hands of Mukuro's body. That is more important information right there.
あの時の彼女と同じ赤い付け爪だったはずよ。
They were the same fake red nails she was wearing when we all met for the first time.
でもファンデーションを使ってたなら
But if she really did use foundation,
そう手の甲にタトゥーがないから戦場ムクロじゃないとは言い切れなかったのよ。
correct. Even if there was no tattoo on her hand, I couldn't say for certain it wasn't Mukuro.
だから苗木君を襲撃した人物を特定する際
So
あな
I'm
たがその穴に気づかなくて助かったわ。
I'm glad no one noticed that glaring hole when we were trying to figure out who attacked Makoto. I noticed it. I noticed it.
残念だったわねモノクマ。今さら認めないと言っても遅いわよ。
But too bad for you, Monokuma. You can't deny it anymore.
じゃあマジで全部最初から仕組まれてたんか？
それにしてもなかなか手の込んだ計画だ。戦場ムクロに江ノ島純子のふりをさせていたとは。
Wait, so this whole thing was a setup from the very beginning? If that's true, it was quite an elaborate plan, to be sure, making it look like Mukuro was Junko.
そこまで手の込んだ計画が可能だったのはその二人が組んでいたからこそなのよ。
The reason such an elaborate plan was possible was because the two of them were working together.
超高校級の絶望である戦場ムクロ。そんな彼女と組んでたってことは。
So Mukuro, the ultimate despair, teamed up with someone like her.
江ノ島純子も超高校級の絶望の一人だと考えられるはずだよ。
In other words, it would be fair to say that Junko herself was also the ultimate despair. You guys need to change your naming convention, okay? Only one thing can be the ultimate.
どうしたの？反論する気力もなくなった？
What's wrong? Lost the will to fight back?
ビビってるだけだよ。
I think he's just afraid.
ビビるって何？
Afraid? What's that mean, afraid?
怯えや恐怖。それは希望があるからこそ抱く感情。絶望しかない僕には無縁な感情だよ。
Fear is only possible where hope is possible. I only have despair, so fear is an alien concept to me.
それならなぜ黙っている？
Then why haven't you been saying anything?
だってさ、バカバカしいんだもん。僕の正体が江ノ島純子だなんて。
Because it's a bunch of nonsense. Junko's my secret identity?
ぷぷぷ。そんなわけないじゃん。
As if.
だったらお前はどうして本物の江ノ島純子の素性を隠そうとしたんだ？
Then why did you try to protect Junko's real identity?
僕が江ノ島さんの素性を隠そうとした？
I tried to protect her identity?
いつそんなことしたっていうのさ。
When did I do that?
So he still refuses to admit it, but oh boy, we're about at the pivot. I mean, we've figured out basically who the mastermind is, although they're still like dancing around it quite a bit. I mentioned earlier too that unfortunately between when I was playing this in 2018 and between this playthrough of this, I caught the spoiler of the fact that Junko was still alive. And it didn't mean anything to me at the time. But as soon as it became apparent that the killer, the mastermind, was a student, I'm like, fuck, it's Junko. Like, you know, the fact that there's a student still alive that nobody else knows about, I'm like, it's fucking Junko. So he refuses to admit it, but he can try to deceive us all he wants. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's too bad that like I caught that spoiler, but still it was really only relevant at the end of the game. You know, the rest of the time, the other mysteries and stuff, it wasn't really relevant for. He can try to deceive us all he wants. It doesn't matter. It's a worst kept secret. And Junko long held the record for the most cosplayed character. Oh, I see. Because I've already figured it out. He tried to hide Junko's identity, and not just once, but twice. He tried to hide Junko's identity, and not just once, but twice. The first time was during our latest investigation. Fuck. What were we trying to present here? Where he tried to hide Junko's? Fuck. I'm not quite sure what we're supposed to be presenting right now. Maybe this one, that the wounds were inflicted after death? I feel like that's possibly the best one for trying to obfuscate what was going on. Let's try that.
Okay. And?
Okay, no, that's not what we needed. Twice he tried to hide Junko's identity. We know the end, just need to dance around for another bit. Exactly. The fun thing about the Junko reveal is that they never mention you can solve it with the handbooks. Oh, interesting. Okay. Maybe the Monokuma file? Yeah, I'm gonna say the Monokuma file is the only other thing that's really making sense to me. Okay, that's not it either. Fuck. You know, I would think that the information that he gave us that fucking mentioned that, like, yeah. Like, I don't see how these have to do with... Yeah, there's a second to spare. There we go. There's that. I don't think that this is it, but that's still important information. Maybe the photo? Hold on, what matters now is presenting the right evidence. Has to do with... I mean, like... But, like, Junko... So something I was mentioning with the photos earlier is that Junko's face is blocked in every single one of those photos. So I'm like, yes, like... Okay, if anyone has any ideas for this one, I am not sure the connection that they're trying to make here. Was it the fatal wound? Because I feel that, like, the best way that he tried to cover up, you know, the Junko was with some of the things that we've already presented. The Monokuma file, like, trying to hide the death of the body. I got a work call, so I don't know if I ended up saying it, but you could solve the Junko call with the student handbooks. You did mention that, yes. I'd be interested in knowing how exactly. While I was in the AV room watching a DVD of our interviews with the headmaster... It wasn't just the monitor. The DVD player itself had apparently turned off. Which, of course, meant that the DVD wasn't playing anymore. Oh, there was no Junko interview here, was there? From the moment Mukuro's body was revealed, you could work out that she was Mukuro? Interesting. What the heck just happened?
Oopsie, looks like it broke. Out of service.
What? It just so happened to break just now?
Now, then, when, doesn't matter. Failure can strike anywhere, anytime.
That's what failure is, right? But if Junko was Mukuro, why was there a Junko Enoshima handbook? Good point.
あの時お前はわざと DVD を見れなくしたんだ。その理由は
You made sure I couldn't finish watching the video, and the reason you did that was...
そこに映ってる本物の江ノ島純子の姿を僕に見られたくなかったからだろう。
It's because you didn't want me to see the real Junko, did you?
そうか。みんなが映ってる DVD なら江ノ島っちだって映ってるはずだべ。
Oh yeah, if everyone was in that video, of course Junko would have had to show up.
そこで苗木が本物の江ノ島ちゃんを見ちゃったら
And if Makoto saw the real Junko,
私たちが最初に会った江ノ島ちゃんが偽物だってバレちゃうからだね。
it would have been totally obvious that the Junko we met was an imposter.
そんなのただの偶然だよ。
That whole power outage thing was just a fluke. Yeah, I took my stream down because I was hiding evidence from you guys. That's the whole solve. It's simple, but it requires that you're paying attention to the broader narrative, which can be difficult when you're still getting your feet under you with like a murder mystery sort of thing. No, it wasn't a fluke. The Mastermind definitely orchestrated that power outage. And that's not the only time they tried to hide Junko's identity. The Mastermind tried to cover up one other piece of evidence. I gotta reveal- No, not this again. Oh, okay.
クマクマクマクマ何さ何なのさクマ何さ何なのさ本当にいいのかなはしゃいじゃってそんなわけないじゃないクマクマクマ そんなわけないじゃない
Photo of Kyoko and the headmaster? Nope. Shit. God damn it. I don't know what evidence they want me to present there. Okay, we'll have to go through that again. Wow, only 4 more hours of stream left. Yeah, I have a feeling that my husband will be like, yeah, no, it's time for lunch, it's time to eat. Yes, give it another shot.
ここで諦めたりしないぞ。
Just pure panic there at the end with try, because you can't see what the truth bullets are until the end there, and you have such limited time.
クマクマクマクマ何さ何なのさクマ何さ何なのさ本当にいいのかなはしゃいじゃってクマクマクマそんなわけないじゃない
The group photo.
これで証明するよ。
There, because her face is blocked. So this is what I tried to present earlier, and it wouldn't let me.
お前が隠そうとしたのは DVD だけじゃない。
The video
この集合写真もそうだったはずだ。
The video isn't the only thing that you tried to cover up. You did the same thing with this group photo.
ドキ
Oh.
さっきみんなに配られた写真を見比べてる時に気がついたんだ。これらの集合写真に共通して見られるある不自然な点に。
In all the photos, there's a certain similarity, an unusual circumstance.
何が不自然だってのさ
What's so unusual about them? The unusual circumstance to all of these pictures. You know, really getting into the game by having power issues IRL, it's very an immersive experience. The unusual circumstance is Junko's face.
これだ。江ノ島純子の顔だよ。
Junko's face. The fun,
彼女の顔だけはどの写真にも共通して写ってなかったんだ。
the one thing common to every single photo is that you can't see her face. That is such a good Shoryuken.
一枚も映ってないなんて、こんなのどう考えても不自然すぎる。
It's hard to believe that her face would just happen to be hidden in every single picture, don't you think?
それにこの写真には戦場ムクロが写ってる。
Ifumi getting launched by the Shoryuken. And on top of that, in this photo you can see that Mukuro is clearly visible.
つまりこの時2人はまだ入れ替わってなかったんだ。
So in other words, at that point, the two of them hadn't switched yet.
だとするとここで顔を隠している江ノ島純子は間違いなく本物だったはず。
With all that in mind, there's no doubt that the girl whose face is hidden is the real Junko.
だからこそお前は江ノ島純子の顔が写ってない写真を選んで渡す必要があったんだ。
Which is why you had to have pictures that didn't show her face.
ここで江ノ島純子の顔が見えていたら僕たちにバレてしまうからだ。
Because if we could have seen her face, then it would have been clearly revealed.
この集合写真に写っている江ノ島純子が僕たちの知っている江ノ島純子じゃないってことがだ。
That the Junko in the pictures was not the Junko that we knew.
ナナドゥ
Xanadu?
すべて苗木君の言った通りのはずよ。
I believe that everything Makoto said is true.
江ノ島純子と戦場ムクロは私たちと会う前から入れ替わっていたのよ。
Junko and Mukuro have switched places before we met either of them.
そして入れ替わった戦場ムクロを殺すことで自分が死んだと見せかけた本物の江ノ島純子は
So she killed Mukuro, who had taken her place, making it look like she died. And the real Junko
今も生きている。
is still alive.
その彼女こそ殺し合い学園生活の首謀者。
And she's the one who's behind the whole murderous situation, this killing game.
超高校級の絶望と呼ばれる黒幕の正体なんだ。
She's the true mastermind and the ultimate despair.
ナナドゥ
Xanadu times two!
これで黒幕の正体とその犯行は明らかになった。
With this, the identity and the crimes of the mastermind have been exposed.
いや待ちなさいって。
Oh, no, wait, hold on.
反論なんか無駄だぞ。
Don't bother trying to deny it.
もうどこにもお前が反論する余地なんて残されてないんだ。
There's no more room for debate. You don't have anywhere left to run.
最後に僕がそれを証明してみせる。
I'll prove everything. Right now. This is pretty early for a closing argument. Oops. So what do we have here? Everybody at school. I'm guessing like maybe this one. That's the only thing that really seems to make sense. Okay, Act 2, Junko gets speared, but it's actually Mukuro. Act 3, we have... is it... Like, this is pretty identical to this one, so I feel like that's not going to be it. Maybe we come back to this one? I mean, Junko was always one of my best girls, even without knowing. Okay, so we pull on the mask. And we're going to... I think that this goes here. Then, like, she gets interrupted. Maybe here? Maybe this one? I meant that Mukuro is best girl. Ah, I see. So she takes off the costume. This is maybe dressing. And so then Mukuro is found by everybody. She explodes. We have the crunchy version. Because these are from like earlier ones, I think. Yeah, I think we have them right. There might be a couple that are inverted, but I'm pretty sure. Wait, did we skipped one? Fuck. Maybe we put her in the fridge. Let's try this. We got full health. If we're wrong, we can take a couple hits. We met the ultimate fashionista, Junko Enoshima, right after we arrived here. But that wasn't the real Junko. That girl we saw before us was actually the 16th student who had taken Junko's place. And that girl's name was Mukuro Ikusaba. But it wasn't long before she died at the hands of the Monokuma. In other words, the Mastermind. Junko Enoshima. Her body was kept in the biolab, which had been converted into a morgue. Until Junko decided to put her body to use. Junko dragged her body out of the biolab, using the tarp to carry her to the garden. She'd fabricated the murder to try to frame Kyoko, who'd proven to be one big thorn in her side. Meanwhile, she wanted us all to think that Mukuro was still alive and hiding somewhere inside the school. So she put on a mask and then attacked me. After making sure I'd gotten a good look at the mask, she left the room. Then she put the same mask on Mukuro's body. This was all to make us think that the person who attacked me and the corpse were one and the same. She wanted us to believe that the murder had only recently taken place. Finally, by strapping a bomb to the body, she was able to destroy any remaining evidence. She needed to hide the body's true identity. She had to make sure we didn't find out it was actually the same person we'd met in the beginning. This is the truth behind Mukuro's murder. And the one who carried it all out is the true mastermind, the one controlling Monokuma.
本物の江ノ島純子なんだ。
The real Enoshima Junko. And launched Toko into orbit. I think this was the first time that we actually got all of the spots right during that little comic panel game. I think every other one we've made at least one mistake. That's the whole story behind the incident. Well, what do you have to say to that? What? Are you broken again?
逃げようったってそうはいかないよ。
You can't get out of this, so don't even try.
ほらほら、そろそろ正体を現せって。
Come on, it's time you finally revealed yourself. I mean, we still haven't solved all the mysteries of the school. Like, the fact that we've solved the murder is only part of this. Yeah, you made all my mistakes. I made all my mistakes earlier, 100%. It's not like you're an endangered species or something. How long do you plan to keep hiding? Give it up, Junko. The game's over. Over?
ぷぷぷ。クライマックスで終了。
Did
そん
you
な風に思っちゃった？
did you really think the story would end once we reached the climax of the case? No, I didn't, and that's why we're saving.
違うよ。まだ続くんだよ。
Wrong. There's still plenty more to go. Are you gonna self-destruct? Yeah, it is 11, exactly. I like how she had like a magical girl transformation instead of just walking in.
私様は待っていたのよ。あなたたちのような人間が現れることをね。
We've been waiting so very long for peasants like you to appear.
私様の配下になるなら、世界の半分をあなたたちに差し上げましょう。
If you swear your fealty to us, we will reward you with half of the entire world.
すでに不動産権利書も用意してるわよ。地位と名誉と私様の手料理もつけてあげるわ。
We've even drawn up the deed already. We will grant you honor, status, and some of our home cooking.
どうする？私様の配下になる？
Have you made your choice? Will you serve under us? I mean, the home cooking is tempting, but no thanks.
本気で答えちゃった？ごめんごめん。今のはジョークなんだよ。
Oh, did you think I was being serious? Sorry, I was just messing with you.
なんだか久しぶりの人前だからさ、どういうキャラだったか自分でも忘れちゃって。
It's been so long since I've had an audience. Even I'm not sure what kind of role I'm supposed to play. Plot critical freckles, yeah. This is the Mastermind? She's the real Junko Enoshima.
それにしてもやっと解放されたよ。
Anyway, it looks like I've finally been set free.
毎日毎日来る日も来る日もモノクマを演じ続けるなんて。
Having to play Monokuma all the time, day after day.
絶望的に秋っぽい私にとっては苦行を通り越して自殺行為だからさ。
It was like I was stuck in purgatory, or like a slow suicide. I get bored so easy, you know?
そんなことよりあんたの顔って。
Your face.
私の顔がどうかした？
What about my face? I mean, you are still blocking it. We haven't gotten a... Did we get a good front-on look at you?
千葉は100頭分とも称されるこの愛くるしい顔がどうかしたのかい？
What's wrong with my beautiful face? People have told me I'm cuter than 100 chihuahuas combined. I mean, I don't find chihuahuas overly cute. You know?
なんか見覚えがあるよ。初めて見る顔じゃないかも。
I feel like this isn't the first time I've ever seen you. This is just like the Chihuahua comment reminds me of like a bully I knew in elementary school, like late elementary school, who used to say things like, "You're as pretty as Lassie." So that way it sounded kind of like a compliment, but she was calling you a dog, you know? No, I do remember seeing it. I'm sure I've seen her somewhere too. It was definitely before I got to the school. Was it before? I mean, he's saying it was before getting to the school, so I'm assuming this one. That's right. It was before I ever came to the school. I remember seeing a magazine cover. I mean, wasn't there a magazine cover with her face in the laundry room? And you were on it.
Naかなか優秀な記憶力じゃん。ここまで生き残っただけあるみたいだね。
Wow, you have a pretty good memory. I guess that's why you've made it this far, huh?
やっぱりそうだったんだな。
So I was right.
だとしたら、最初の玄関ホールで僕が聞いた言葉って。
Then what you told me in the main hall when this all began. Yeah, but the Photoshop. I've seen her on tons of magazine covers, but I feel like it doesn't quite match up to reality. Huh? Are you talking about my cover photos and junk? No, of course, those are totally photoshopped. Photoshopped? Yeah, you know, edited to hell and back. With, like, computers and junk? Oh, so they aren't real.
時には自分に嘘をつくことも必要。そういう前向きさもあると思うんだよね。
Sometimes a little lie is necessary to keep things moving along. Wouldn't you agree?
そもそも別人だから見た目の印象が違うのは当然。
That's why
そういうことか。
that explains why she didn't quite seem the same. Because she was a different person all along. JoJo ass pose. I do need to read and or watch JoJo at some point. It's just so rough to get started.
私は私。ムクロはムクロ。
I'm me and Mukuro is Mukuro.
いくら持ったところで彼女が超高校級のギャルになるのは不可能なんだ。
She tried her best, but there's just no way she could have passed as the ultimate fashionista.
肉体と意識の壁が存在する限り、人と人とは決して一つにはなれないんだよ。
Two people can never become one as long as the walls of mind and body exist.
たとえ双子だとしてもね。
Not even if they're twins. Interesting. Twins.
よくある設定なんだよ。だから今更言うのも恥ずかしいんだけどさ。
I know, it's such a cliche, right? I'm almost embarrassed to admit it.
つまり、私とムクロは双子の関係にあるんだ。
So basically, Mukuro and I had your stereotypical twin relationship. You know, where one becomes a fashion model and the other one becomes a soldier. What?
体力自慢の姉という設定が戦場ムクロ。可愛くて天才で、しかも妹という設定が私。
The older sister, tough and proud, that was Mukuro. The younger sister, smart and cute, that was... Me, Junko fucking Enoshima.
俺ら姉妹揃って超高校級の絶望の絶望シスターズでした。
And together we were the Despair Sisters, aka the ultimate despair.
なんか急にキャラ変わってねえか？
Whoa, she's a totally different person now. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. I've never seen that movie actually.
絶望的に飽きっぽいんだ。だから自分のキャラにすら飽きちまうんだよ。
Like I said, I get bored easy as hell. I even get fucking bored with myself.
でも双子の姉妹なのになんで名字が違うの？
But if you're twins, why do you have different last names? I mean, it could be that the parents split up and one took, like, one child went with each parent. Could be one was adopted.
またその質問かよ。よく聞かれるんだよな。
What your favorite Junko says about your mental health. That again. Do you have any idea how many times people ask me that shit?
そっちは初めてでも こっちは絶望的に飽きてんだよ。何度も何度も同じ質問に答えさせられてよ。
Maybe it's new to your dumb ass, but it bores me to tears. Answering the same questions over and over.
つうか、よくある話だから勝手に想像しろ。それが正解でいいぜ。
Just make up whatever answer you want. I don't give a shit. The truth's fucking lame anyway.
でも双子の姉妹ってことはあんたはお姉さんを殺したの？
So do they never explain it? Because that would be amazing. But if she was your twin, that means you killed your own sister?
それには海より深い事情があるんだ。嘘だよねよ。
And for reasons deeper and darker than the ocean. As if.
仕方がないですね。私から説明しましょう。
That was it? That was the whole explanation? Love it. Yeah, I love that that was the full explanation. Well, I suppose I'd better explain.
今回の計画において、殺し合い学園生活を裏でコントロールする役目は必須でした。
For my plan to work, someone had to be able to control the killing game from behind the scenes.
モノクマの操作やあなた方の見張り、いわゆる黒幕の役目ですね。
The so-called mastermind had to operate Monokuma, keep an eye on everyone, things like that.
ですが、私の計算上、戦場ムクロではその責務を果たすのは不可能でした。
But after looking at the situation, I determined it would be impossible for Mukuro to perform such duties.
なぜなら、彼女は残念なお姉ちゃんだからです。
Because, naturally, she turned out to be the letdown of the family.
一人で傭兵団に入ったりするような残念すぎるお姉ちゃんだからです。
Leaving me behind to run off and join some band of mercenaries? Such a disappointment. I mean, I guess that really depends on your family priorities. There are definitely some families that would look at becoming the ultimate fashionista as being a letdown.
なので、私がコントロール役に回り、彼女は表の学園生活に残ってもらうことにしました。
So I decided to play the role of director and have her join the rest of you in your school life.
二人ともが裏に回るという選択肢もありましたが、彼女がいたところで私の助けにはなりませんし。
I could have let her work alongside me, but she would have been useless to me that way.
それに、15人の参加者だとキリもいいですからね。
Besides, 15 students seemed like a solid number to start with.
だけど、そこで問題となったのは、戦場ムクロの超高校級の軍人という肩書き。
Of course, the fact that she was the ultimate soldier posed something of a problem.
いわゆる 3Z ですね。絶望的に臭い、絶望的に汚い、絶望的に気持ち悪い。
She had what I called the three atrocities. Atrociously rank, atrociously filthy, atrociously repulsive.
社会のニーズから大きく外れていることはわざわざ計算しなくてもわかります。
It was atrociously clear just how out of touch she was with the rest of society.
一方、私の超高校級のギャルには花もあり、捨てるにはもったいない。
Meanwhile, my ultimate fashionista status has an undeniable appeal that I didn't want to go to waste.
だから入れ替わった。
And that's why you switched identities?
ですが、計算以上に私に似ていませんでしたね。それはもう絶望的なほどに。
Sadly, her inability to match my personality was even greater than I'd calculated. It was a lost cause.
あれではただの雑魚キャラ、もしくはエキストラ A。
She was nothing more than a bit player, an extra, unworthy of lines.
その残念なビジュアルも相まって、彼女がすぐに殺されると予想した人も多いはずです。
Being the utter disappointment that she was, anyone would have expected her to get killed off right away.
だから殺しました。ご期待に添えたくて。
Which is precisely why I killed her, to meet everyone's expectations.
まさかそれだけの理由で。
That can't be your only reason, can it? For whatever it says about my mental health, this is my second favorite Junko. Admittedly, like, librarian chic looking Junko is quite nice. I'm like, oh, hello there.
もちろんそれだけではありません。飽きてしまったという明確な理由もあります。
私ってね、計画通りに物事を進めたことが今まで一度もないんだ。
Ugh. Hey, Ghost Body.
It's Mayon! I've never been a stickler for following a plan to the letter, you know.
計画しただけで先が見えちゃって、それで飽きちゃうっていうか。
If I planned everything out and knew what was gonna happen, that would be so boring.
だから 予定変更してムクロちゃんには見せしめ役になってもらうことにしたの。
So I changed things a little bit and just decided to use Mukuro to make a little point.
つまり戦場ムクロの死はあなたが一方的に仕組んだ裏切り行為。
In other words, Mukuro's death was a one-sided, premeditated act of betrayal.
そうだと思ったわ。
Just as I suspected.
戦場ムクロが殺された時、彼女は明らかに予想外だと思っていたはずだもの。
When Mukuro was killed, she must have been as surprised as anyone else. What? Uh-huh. This wasn't supposed to... Why me?
やっぱバレちゃった？
Such a punchable face.
So you figured it out?
そうだよね。ムクロちゃんにあんな迫真の演技ができるわけないもんね。
Well, you're right. There's no way Mukuro could have pulled off such a convincing performance.
でもさ、そのおかげでいい感じの見せしめっぷりになったと思わない？
But she did teach you all a very valuable lesson, don't you think?
どうして平気なんだよ。
How can you talk like that? Finally, a face to put Monokuma to actually behind Monokuma to actually punt. Yeah.
自分のお姉さんを犠牲にしておいて、どうして平気でいられるんだよ。
You sacrificed your own sister. How does that not even bother you? Okay. Let me say again, although not necessarily in this case, family doesn't mean shit. If they're bad people, don't worry about it. I'm not saying that it works in this case, but the whole, like, your own sister, maybe her sister was a shit. Okay, they're both shits, but still, you get what I'm saying here.
私がムクロちゃんを犠牲にした？だから怒ってんの？
What? I sacrificed her? That's what got you so hot under the collar?
やったー。勘違いって怖い。
Jeez, misunderstandings sure are scary.
私たちは超高校級の絶望なんだよ。だから生きることに希望なんて感じてないっていうか。
We were the ultimate despair, you know? So we never had any kind of hope or expectations.
むしろ生まれた瞬間に世界に絶望してるの。間違った。生まれてこなきゃよかったって。
No, I've never felt despair. Or, no, I felt despair as long as I can remember. Like I never should have been born at all.
Junko, what you needed was not murder. What you needed was antidepressants. Okay? Get medicated. Things will be fine.
私が生まれた時に流した涙もそんな絶望の涙だったんだよ。
When I was born, I cried tears of total despair.
だからね、私たちにとっては死ぬとか殺すとか大した問題じゃないの。
So that's why for us, it's not a big deal whether we die or kill.
私たちはそういう人間なの。だからこそ何でもできるんだよ。
We're just those kinds of people. We can do anything.
常に絶望してるからこそ命を惜しまぬ全力投球ってわけさ。
We've always been filled with despair, so when we do something, we go all the way and live without regret.
なんとも思ってないってこと？自分のお姉さんを殺しておいて。
So you just murdered your own sister and didn't think anything of it?
そんなわけないじゃないですか。
That's not true at all.
双子の姉妹なんですよ。悲しくないわけないじゃないですか。
We were twins. How could I not be sad?
だからこそそそるんですけどね。
That's why it gets me so excited. Huh?
大好きなお姉ちゃんを自分の手で殺すなんて
Killing my precious sister with my own two hands?
絶望的ですよね。超をつけたくなるほどの
That
超
act
絶望的ですよね。
That act is filled with so much despair, you can't help but put a super in front of it. I like how she's sad and she has mushrooms growing on her there. My absolute favorite Junko thing in the stage plays, she wears a Monokuma backpack and had to swap to Monokuma personality. She just turns her back to the other students and slowly walks backwards toward them, doing her Monokuma voice. I see. This one's your favorite? The mushroom thing reminds me a little bit of Ouran High School Host Club, when every time that Tamaki was like upset, he was growing mushrooms in the closet. He's just sitting in the dark tending his mushrooms. It's like
もっとですね。
it's like super 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 despair. No, it's more than that.
超絶望的すぎて。
Super 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 despair.
です。
It just feels so good.
おめえ何言ってんだ？
What the hell is wrong with you? I mean, if Hiro's saying that, there's something wrong with you. Yeah, we get it.
ムクロ姉さんも死ぬ瞬間は絶望してたと思うんです。
And my sister too. In that moment of death, I think she must have felt that despair.
だって実の妹に殺されて。
After all,
ただの見せしめとしてですよ。
to be murdered by your own sister and only as an example to someone else?
きっと絶望しながら死んだんだと思います。
She must have died feeling such excruciating hopelessness.
だから羨ましいんです。超羨ましいんです。
I'm so jealous of her. Super jealous. I mean, you know, if you'd like to, you can join her. We can make that happen.
ただものではないと思っていたが、やはり変態だったが。
I knew you couldn't be just some ordinary person. You're some kind of abnormality.
自分自身の絶望すら取り込む究極の絶望フェチ。最低に厄介な変態ね。
Turning your own despair into some kind of fetish. Abnormality doesn't even begin to describe it. I've seen so many streamers use that quote from the English voice actor as a redeem. Which, the super 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 part? Ah, yeah, yeah.
ジェノサイダーもイカれてっけど、それとは違ったイカれ方だべ。
Like, Genocide Jill is crazy for sure, but this is a whole nother level of nuts.
弱者を殺すことしか能がない殺人鬼さんと一緒にしてほしくないって言いますか。
You're saying I don't compare to some lowly beast that can only kill the weak, right? I actually think that I've seen like fan art or cosplays or something of her with the Monokuma hair clips. And I guess I just always assumed that it was just like a stylistic choice to try to make it a little bit more apparent what character you're playing, like from what franchise. But yeah, I guess that's also a pretty big spoiler there too.
私って絶望的に容姿端麗で絶望的に頭脳明晰で絶望的に身体能力抜群な。
So I'm hopelessly attractive, hopelessly brilliant, hopelessly athletic.
絶望的に完璧超人設定なんですよ。
I'm the hopelessly perfect ultimate human. I mean, that's not really what we're saying.
いや、その程度では完璧とは程遠いな。
No, I don't think there's anything perfect about anything you just said.
そうよ、白夜様の方が完璧よ。そこに大きな血統もプラスされるんだから。
Yeah, Master's way more perfect, because on top of everything else, he's got that noble blood. Toko, noble blood means shit. It is nothing. There is no divine mandate to rule. There is no reason. Yeah, 3 for 3. There you go.
でもそれって以前は大きな血統ですよね。
Huh? Don't you mean had that noble blood?
なんだと？どういう意味だ？
What did you just say? What do you mean by that? Is she just gonna fucking kill him right in the middle of the trial?
うぷうぷ。まだ気づいてないの？お前らって本当に鈍ちんだね。
You still haven't figured that part out yet? Man, you guys are slow.
そのくせキャンキャン騒いじゃってさ。まだ解けてない謎もあるっていうのにね。
You haven't even solved all the mysteries, and yet here you are yapping away.
それって私たちの記憶のこと。
Are you talking about our memories?
謎はすべて解けた。犯人は僕だ。だからどうしたっていうの？
You've already solved this mystery, right? I'm the killer. So how about the next one?
勝ち誇るのはお前らの記憶の秘密を解いてからにしてもらえる？
Maybe you should solve the riddle of your missing memories, and then you can start gloating.
もちろんそのつもりだ。僕たちが全て解き明かしてみせる。
Damn straight. That's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna solve all of these mysteries, and we're also gonna save. And then we'll have our victory. I am going to strangle you and that football-shaped robot of yours. Yeah, just cram the football-shaped robot right down her throat. Just choke on it, die.
楽しみだね。
I can't wait.
よし、じゃあ担当直入に聞くべ。俺たちのどんな記憶を奪ったんだ？
I'm sure that'll work, Hiro. All right, then let's just get straight to the point. What memories did you steal from us? That is the mystery that we are trying to solve, Hiro. I don't think she's going to tell us.
集合写真の撮影や面談の記憶ということは
When the group pictures were taken and those interviews, it must mean...
わかった入学試験の記憶よ
I got it. It must have something to do with our entrance exams.
シーン。
ダメぞ。ヒントくらい教えろって。
No fair. At least give us a hint.
お前らって脳がスポンジなんだね。ヒントならさっき言ったじゃん。
I like how normally when somebody says that someone's brain is a sponge, they mean absorbent. But
your brains are like sponges, all drippy and leaky. I already gave you a hint before.
お前らから奪った記憶はあることと関係してるってさ。
All the memories you lost share something in common with a few other things. Do you recall?
Thinking back to what Monokuma's told us, the memories that were stolen from us and what they must be related to. It was the motives. That's what she said. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Pumbloom. I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your Friday. You're talking about the motives you provided to get us to kill each other, right?
やっぱ覚えてた？ま、そんな大事なことを忘れるわけがないよね。
So you do remember after all. Well, I would hope you wouldn't forget something so important.
まさに愚問。ご無礼のありました段。重ねて慎んでお詫び申し上げておくよ。
It was stupid of me to even ask. I apologize from the bottom of my heart for my bad manners.
では、改めての質問だけどさ。
So then, let me ask you another question.
これまで私が提示してきた動機には、それぞれ独自のテーマがあったのは知ってるかな？
Did you notice that each motive I presented you had a specific theme to it?
テーマ
A theme?
うんうん。そうなんだ。それを皆さんへの問題にしようと思うんだよ。
Yep, you got it. So that's my question to you all.
さて、最初の前園さんの殺人の時、私が提示した動機にはどんなテーマがあったかな？
When Sayaka was murdered, what was the theme of the motive that I presented? I mean, that was the video that showed what was happening with life outside. And I mean, our video was showing our family and kind of, you know, possibly that they were being injured or that they were being tortured. I mean, Sayaka's video, I can't remember if it was showing that like her band was being tortured or if it was that they had moved on without her. I think it was that they were being tortured. The theme for the motive Monokuma gave us for the first murder. Monokuma gave us those DVDs. On my DVD was footage of my family. On Sayaka was hers and her friends. They had a dream they all shared. So for the first murder, the motive were given was... I'd say human connections?
人間関係。それが最初の殺人の時、僕らに提示された動機だったはずだ。
The driving force behind the motive you presented us at that point was human connections.
ピンポンピンポン。ご名答だよ。あの時私が配った DVD には
Ding, ding, ding. You got it. Remember those DVDs I gave you guys?
皆さんの大切な人間関係を台無しにした映像が映ってたんだよね。
Each video showed the total destruction of your most important relationships.
例えば家族だったり、
For example, your family.
例えば友人だったりさ。
For example, your friends.
それらを破壊し、そして見せつけることで
I ruined all those relationships and showed you the results.
皆さんのここから出たいという気持ちを煽り、殺し合いに発展させようって動機だったんだ。
It was to motivate your desire to escape and kickstart your urge to kill.
それにしても残酷なことをするよね。
But still, what a cruel thing to do.
よく言うよ。あんたがやったくせに。
And you're the one who did it.
うんうん。非難は甘んじて受け入れるつもりだよ。
Yes, well, I'm perfectly happy to accept your disapproval.
じゃあ
Ugh.
次のクイズです。
This one is my least favorite. This is my least favorite personality that she puts forward.
Okay, time for the next question.
2番目の大和田くんの時なんだけど、あの時の動機のテーマは何でしょうか？
So, what was the theme for the second motive?
For the second murder, the motive's theme was... That's when we got those weird envelopes from Monokuma. Mine mentioned how Oh, it was the secrets. It was hiding the secrets. So the theme that time was... I guess the past? Well, it was our past, right?
また苗木くんが正解しちゃいました。そうです。あの事件で動機となったのは
Yay! Makoto got it right again. That time, the theme was...
恥ずかしい思い出や知られたくない過去なのでした。
embarrassing memories and secrets.
それをばらされたくなかったからこそ大和田くんの事件は起きちゃったんだよね。
And the whole reason that Mondo did what he did was to protect his secret.
だからどうした？いつまで続けるつもりだ？
So, how long do you plan on dragging this out?
いいからいいから。じゃあ次のクイズね。
Relax, relax. Okay, on to the next question.
3番目の殺人の時に動機となったのはさてさて何でしょうか？
So, what was the motive for the third murder?
So, the theme for the third murder was the Holy Jesus. I missed a lot today. Yeah, it's been a lot of reveals today. Archetypes, thank you. Actually, I'm not even sure if like archetypes, because when I think of archetypes, I think of like the anti-hero, like the different things like that. But I guess it could be, right for this. Yeah, she's just running behind a curtain every few minutes and throwing mushrooms in her hair. The reason Celeste turned to murder was she wanted to buy a European castle and live there with a bunch of handsome men. So at the time, the motive for the murder was greed.
これだ。お金。つまり欲望ってことか。
It was money, wasn't it? Greed?
デストロイ。また出やがった。
Seek and destroy. Hell yeah, you got it again.
そう、金だよ金。セレスが山田や石丸を殺したのは金のせいなんだ。
Goddamn straight it was money. Celeste killed Tofumi and Taka for a little personal gain.
つまり欲望が3番目の事件の動機になったんだよ。
Her greed led to all kinds of death and destruction. It hurts my head when you don't follow it. Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
それがどうしたんだよ。さっきから同じような質問ばっかりして。
What's the point of all of this? Why are you making us go through this case by case?
焦んなって次が最後だからよ。
Don't worry, sweet cheeks. Just one more to go.
ちょっとイレギュラーだった4番目の大神の殺人。あそこで俺が提示した動機のテーマがわかるか？
Now, can you tell me the motive behind crazy-ass Sakura's crazy-ass death? I really don't remember Junko at all. Well, we didn't really know Junko at all, right? She was a little bit of, like, kind of that Valley Girl stereotype type of thing. The, oh my god, I'm a fashionista, like that sort of thing. But that wasn't really Junko, right? That was Mukuro pretending to be Junko. And the freckles comment at the beginning of the game is kind of ironic now. Yeah, the whole thing with we saw the magazine and made the comment about how it looked. She didn't really look the same, and she said it was Photoshop, and it was like nope. Although with them being twins, I'm kind of surprised that we noticed the difference, except for the freckles. But still, just because you're twins doesn't mean that you're like identical twins, and even identical twins sometimes look fairly different. The motive in the case of Sakura's death was... what was it that made Sakura decide to kill herself? It had to do with Monokuma exposing Sakura's secret. So the theme of the motive of that fourth case was... oh, this one's the hardest of these. It could be anything. Let's try betrayal. Because I feel like that was why Sakura killed herself. It wasn't the blackmail. It had already come out. The secret had already come out, but she felt so incredibly guilty. So I think betrayal. There we go. In her case, it was betrayal. Precisely. Precisely. You see... once I revealed Sakura's betrayal, that led to everything that came afterwards. Anyway, it looks like you answered all of my questions correctly. How painfully delightful. But what's the point? What meaning is there in asking those questions now? Ugh. Relationships, secrets, money, betrayal. Those are all... these are all pretty standard motives, right? The most normal of the normal, totally middle of the road. Oh, that's a new one. This voice is hurting my head when... I'm sorry, is it hers or mine? Because I can stop doing it if it's bothering you. It's the uncanny hair that's creepy for me. No, hers, you're fine. Okay, thank you. But of course, those aren't the only motives that exist in this world. In fact, there are as many reasons to kill as there are people on the earth. They compel humans to kill each other, bringing despair to the world. This is what we refer to as the seed of despair. Seed of despair. Just as air, water, and food promote growth in living things, the seed of despair also needs nourishment. And that nourishment is hope. Despair can grow only in the presence of hope. Two sides of the same coin, divided by a razor-thin line. Such is hope and despair. That's just what I was thinking. How much longer is this stupid speech of yours? Weren't we discussing our missing memories? Why are you trying to change the subject? Thank you for keeping us on plot, Byakuya, because I totally had kind of lost track of what we were talking about.
話をそらしては聞き捨てなりませんね。私はあなた方の記憶について説明しているのですよ。
If you would listen, you'd see I'm not changing the subject. We are discussing your memories. I think we're going to save here because I feel like it's going to actually launch into something important after this. And I want to make sure that we remember it on Monday. So that way we have a little bit of extra context for Monday. So that is going to be it. Actually, I'll leave it on pause so that we can still have the music. That is going to be it for today. So we made it through part of this mystery, this trial. We found who the killer was, who the body was, but not solved all of the mysteries of the school yet.